for them. And so when you have an opportunity to become qualified for the ever available positions, you take advantage of them. So again, go to experienceitdetroit.com and check those out. But interestingly today, there were also some candidates for elected office, and they had the opportunity to speak. What are there, almost 70 candidates for the school board? And, for me, I just, what are you going to do? And I don't mean just the people that were there today. I mean, just in general. What are you really going to do? What are you going to do that no one has done in the past or has attempted to do? How are we going to manage when we have a financial oversight committee for DPS? So, I really like to ask, what do people run for office for? And I do think that a lot of times people run for office because they would like to make a difference. But in my opinion, the process almost isn't set up for progress. I mean, it's just really not. And I was watching some of the people today in the audience as they were listening to everyone speak. We heard from Sam Riddle. We heard from Pastor David Bullock. We heard from Tara Defoe from the mayor's office, and they were talking about the importance of voting. A lot of people are feeling like, that they may or may not vote because they're confused about who to vote for. Well, interestingly, people respond to the personalities. They respond, and I guess this is why people who have good oratorical skills can be very convincing. But what is it that how are you going to decipher between 70 people for the school board and start to pick through whatever, things are on the ballot outside of the president? Pastor David Bullock made a great point. He said, before you start blaming the president, you've got to look to your immediate elected officials, your mayor, your governor, your city council. Before you get to Washington, you've got to look right here. But 313-209-9000, how are you going to approach this election? I mean, how are you going to decipher it? Or, have we just become so jaded in the political process that we really don't give it the attention and the dedication and the thorough review that we need to? I'd really like to know, how are we going to approach it? And I understand people are really, this whole back and forth with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. It continues to get worse. I saw that, I guess, some hackers broke into, I can't remember the guy's name now. What was it? He was in the black guy. I can't remember. Oh, my mind is gone. But anyway, so they hacked into his account and found Colin Powell. Thank you. Hey, it's been a long day. I couldn't remember his name. I didn't have it in front of me. But, that they hacked into his account and found what they, are some disparaging remarks. So it's gotten really, really petty. It's gotten really, really personal. And it's interesting because at the end of the day, what does this have to do with how we're going to select our candidates? So what is your approach when you are looking at going to the voting booth and trying to decipher? 313-209-9000. Does it matter? Does the personality matter? Because I saw people respond to the personality. I didn't really see that people were, and people were engaged and they asked some very good questions. But I also saw just a level of responsiveness to the presentation and the personality or the person a little bit more, I guess, than I would have been comfortable with. And I realized that is, we always talk about the importance of presentation, and it is important. But when you're talking about an election and choosing someone, whether it's to head an organization or whatever entity that they're elected or that they're seeking, we got to start peeling back the layers because everybody, for the most part, says the same thing. I mean, once upon a time when people were running for office, everybody said, we want street lights, we want safe streets, we want our kids educated. Okay, well, first of all, is that an area of responsibility covered by the seat that you're seeking? That's the first thing. You can say that you want to make sure we have safe streets, but, will that provide you any oversight in the area that you're seeking? Will you have the opportunity to make a contribution to make sure that we have safe streets? I mean, what does that look like? So how do you approach an election? How do you approach candidates to ensure or try to ensure that you're making the best decision? So what are those factors that lend to your decision-making process? Again, is it the person? Is it the personality? Is it whether or not they've run for an elected office prior? Is it how many times you see and hear their names? So certainly the financial component weighs in there. Does that make a difference to you? What is it that you look for? Do you read their materials, their collateral materials, and does that make a difference? 313-209-9000 is our number. What do you look for in selecting a candidate? How are you going to get through this election? I mean, are you watching the news? Does it make a difference? If endorsements, that's also another big deal. Does that really matter? You know, if somebody else is saying, hey, this is my candidate, does that influence you at all? I mean, we've got to really, especially because we keep having the same conversations over and over and over again. We're still talking about the same things that we've been talking about for the past 20 or 30 years. I've often run across documents and articles and materials from many, many, many years ago, and all we have to do is change the date. We're still talking about the same things. So are we comfortable in that conversation? Or at some point, are we going to start looking for, expecting, demanding some kind of response, some kind of results? I mean, it's almost embarrassing because if you really think about it, we're just still rehashing the same stuff. I mean, is that what we're doing? Are we comfortable in the struggle? I used to think that about the city at some point. I used to think that we were just comfortable always working towards something. Are we ever going to get to that point where we will have be at a certain point? And right now, people say that we are. We see the epicenter of the city growing in downtown Detroit. But, you know, our neighborhoods are hit, man. I mean, they really are. I mean, and I understand it takes time. I understand that you invest in your core. I got all that. But what about the neighborhoods? I mean, that has been the heart and the soul of the city of Detroit for a long, long time. And there are people there. A lot of those people that live in the neighborhoods were there today at Senior Power Days, and they said, what about us? You know, this one lady asked about the water bills. She said, you know, I don't want help paying a higher water bill. I want to know why, after I've been in my house for almost 50 years, you know, is my water bill going up and my consumption isn't going up? Like, she doesn't understand that. I mean, I understand, but, you know, interestingly, there was a campaign going on at one time, and if you listened very closely, it said that each month users pay an additional fee to help those who can't pay their water bills. And that's something that I've thought long about most of our utilities, that there is just a little bit extra in there to compensate for the money that they don't collect. All right, we're going to continue this conversation, or hey, I'm up to starting a new one at 5 o'clock. We're going to continue our life before and after series with Pye Funeral Home. Ozzie Pye and Rita Jordan are in the green room. We're going to continue that discussion. Last week we talked about pre-planning, and we're going to delve down into that a little bit more. You're listening to The Pulse. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Filch.
This traffic report is brought to you by Zemas Jewelry and Loan, Michigan's largest pawnbroker since 1923. Your grandfather did business with us, you should too.
910 AM Superstation, the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
First of all, has anybody here ever went on a blind date?
I have. They were like, this person really needs to go out. I will pay for the date, and I will give you
Easy
$50.
picking.
$50, man. I didn't have to do much.
Okay, tell me about the girl. Tell me about the girl. I gotta
Try
know.
not to run with that
Now,
one.
see, this is
Did they lay it on the dresser?
well, it was actually just a blind date. It was a deaf date.
Ooh.
She was deaf?
Yes, she was.
No, seriously?
No, go ahead. You picked her up.
Yeah, I picked her up.
Did you blow the horn?
Well,
She couldn't hear it.
my maturity level wasn't there
Okay.
to do so.
Wow.
Oh, that's
could.
That takes a man to admit that.
I got cussed out in sign language, but
You did?
Did
What did
she
she
really?
say?
Catch it all right here on 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community.
Put your hands up now!
Do you have anything illegal on you?
Hands up! Get on the ground!
We charged.
He's running. He's running. Sheriff's Department, stop!
What is that?
We energized.
Stop resisting! Crawl towards me!
Tase him. Get ready.
We loaded.
You looking for some fun?
Got him. Hey, there's no point crying now.
All new cops reloaded. Viewer discretion advised at 3 p.m. on WADL Detroit. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation.
Get ready. Football time. Back to school, homie.
Who else but 910 AM can give you this much excitement, this much flavor, this much fun? Catch it all right here on 910 AM Superstation.
Now this is why I love y'all.
We are 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I listen all the time. Great radio personalities.
The new mobile site is incredible. With the visual live feed, this is a whole new level for community broadcasting. I'm also very impressed with the Bible section present both in a written and audio format. 910 AM has really stepped it up to a whole new level.
Tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. The most powerful voices in the African American community are all right here on the new 910 AM radio superstation. When you think of power, aggression, boldness, and in-your-face honesty, there's only one station that comes to mind, and that's 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town. Why? Because when it happens, we talk about it.
Have either of you ever fired a weapon or shot someone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so both of those?
Yes.
Okay, and did you kill them or did you just?
No. Me, it was like, let me do this. Maybe I get a little more respect.
You know, when you drive by and shoot at a house party, how do you feel when you see a 3-year-old girl shot as a result of somebody, driving by and shooting into a crowd at somebody?
When you out there doing those things, you don't think about who you about to shoot. Once you see something like that on the news, like a 3-year-old shot or something like that, it hurt me.
But for how long? Long enough to take you off the street?
Yeah. I got a daughter of my own, 3 years old.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. You got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say this.
Boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio. And you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect in my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back too. You know him.
Yeah. 910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen. Some stations report headlines, but we make the headlines.
I am a part of the hip-hop generation. Second and third, I represent the hip-hop generation. He is the hip-hop mayor, okay? Hip-hop is not all bad. Hip-hop is good as well. Let me tell you something about me, Clown. Clown. Bro, you a clown. You're a clown. Don't insult me, bro. You don't know me. You a clown. Yeah, you try to you sound like a complete fool. Usually I got at least 2 to 5 years.
And you mean to tell me that they're not police officers out there getting love, too? Now, you need to go sit down somewhere. No, it ain't. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You said you law enforcement. And you mean to tell me.
I've seen her 20 times in a residential neighborhood, butt naked, running down the street, and she would have lifted the jail up and threw me underneath.
910 Superstation is off the chisang. I was like, wow, I can't believe I missed this actual interview, your last interview.
910 AM Superstation. We do radio our way.
Big Hollywood, big stars, big movies, big TV shows.
Oh my God.
Celebrity Page TV, new exciting entertainment news right here. I'm Sonia Isabel. We take you around the world to give you the latest celebrity stories, plus behind the scenes access to your favorite stars and shows.
Exciting and interesting and fascinating.
Less talk, more Hollywood news right to the point. Celebrity Page TV, your entertainment news source.
At 8:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit.
From the crazy, twisted, brilliant mind of Seth MacFarlane.
Who?
Creator of Family Guy and American Dad.
What else is on?
Comes the Cleveland Show 5 times a week.
To Cleveland!
And it's just what you'd expect.
Yes, this show delivers.
The Cleveland Show. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at 12:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to 910 AM Superstation. This is Radio Our Way. I'm Karen Dumas, and you are listening to The Pulse. I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We've gotten some callers, and people are asking how do they find out more about the program that we just talked about with David Palmer and Chandra Floyd. Again, you can go to experienceitdetroit.com. Again, we talk about there not being any jobs available. Yeah, there are jobs available. There are plenty of jobs available. We need to have a conversation about being qualified for those jobs. And this is part of that opportunity to do so. We talked about the school board and how you're going to pick those people for the school board. We got to stop trivializing the lack of preparation that our students repeatedly have. And this doesn't take away from the commitment that I know exists within the schools of the administrators, the teachers. Yeah, you got a few bad apples, but you got a few bad apples as it relates to teachers, to students and parents and all that. I got that. But we need to raise our standards. I mean, our standards are so low, and we're just comfortable with mediocrity all over the place. And that is why we continue to see ourselves in a compromised situation. I mean, we do. And everybody says, well, we don't get a chance to participate. We can't participate in the resurgence of the city. Well, yeah, you're probably right. You probably can't. But you should be able to. And at some point, we're going to change the direction and the conversation and the trajectory about how we are or are not adequately preparing our students. I mean, you can just sometimes, when you see adults that are acting in a manner, less than ideal manner, they didn't just happen that way. I mean, they just didn't. Somebody never told them what was correct. Somebody never told them what was right. Nobody ever told them that what they were doing was incorrect. And so in doing so repeatedly, it became habit, it became validated, and that became who they are, or that's who they became. And that's what they teach their children, or they let them know that it's okay. And so then we have this vicious cycle about low standards. I mean, we should expect more. We should demand more, not just of our, ourselves, but each other, and certainly those people that are in the position that are supposed to help us get there. 313-209-9000. As we talk about education, I see the conversation about the teacher continues to be in the mainstream media. Everybody's questioning as to whether or not her posting pictures on Instagram in clothes that some people consider to be a little too risque for a teacher. Is it acceptable? What do you think? 313-209-9000. It kind of goes back a little bit to the conversation that Cliff Woodards and I had the other day when people were critical and some were defensive of pictures that had been shared with Cliff Woodards on his page about these ladies that worked for Henry Ford Health System. And people were saying, well, that's after hours. Well, she's taking pictures in the classroom, and, but will her outfit, does it dictate, or should that dictate the perception or the interpretation or her abilities as a teacher? I mean, would you like to see your child's teacher on Instagram? Whether or not it's in the club, it's in the classroom, and, does she or does she not have a right to dress in a certain way? I don't know how old she is, but she does not look to be old or too old. But people are really, really having a conversation about whether or not, her behavior was acceptable in terms of her dress and her taking pictures and posting them on Instagram. 313-209-9000. We need to change our conversation. We really do. But I'm not so sure that we need to also end the discussion about what is private and what is public. Cliff and I had a discussion on this the other day, and certainly the circumstance or the situation with the teacher dictates that, at some point, we got to figure out how that's going to play out as well. A lot of companies, a lot of corporations, schools probably or should have some social media guidelines for their employees, and people ought to adhere to them. You need to Google, if your company has not given them to you, Go through your human resource or your employee handbook and find out just what it is that you can or cannot do. I tell clients and their staffs all the time, that you've got to understand that you are a representation of the company that pays you. And you have to carry yourself like that in a manner all of the time. I guess this was driven home for me more than ever working in the mayor's office both times, that, people would never say she did something bad. They'd say, oh, the mayor's people or the mayor's person. And, if somebody values or trusts you enough to put you on their team, whether it is political or academic or corporate or even a community organization, then you need to be conscious of the fact and always try to represent them in the highest and most respectable manner at all times. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue our Life Before and After series, brought to you by Pye Funeral Home. Ozzie Pye and Rita Jordan are joining us, and we're going to continue the discussion that we started last week, pre-planning before and after, part 2. We're going to delve down a little bit more, and we're going to look at cost, obligations, responsibilities. Again, it's a difficult but necessary conversation, and we're going to have it right here, so stay tuned.
Listening to 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community.
Big Hollywood, big stars, big movies, big TV shows.
Oh my God.
Celebrity Page TV, new exciting entertainment news right here. I'm Sonia Isabel. We take you around the world to give you the latest celebrity stories, plus behind the scenes access to your favorite stars and shows.
Exciting and interesting and fascinating.
Less talk, more Hollywood news right to the point. Celebrity Page TV, your entertainment news source.
At 8:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit.
From the crazy, twisted, brilliant mind of Seth MacFarlane.
Who?
Creator of Family Guy and American Dad.
What else is on?
Comes the Cleveland Show 5 times a week.
To Cleveland!
And it's just what you'd expect.
Yes! This show delivers.
The Cleveland Show. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at 12:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit. 910 a.m. is everywhere you need us to be, literally.
Certainly, this is my first time with the Woodward Dream Cruise. It is bumper to bumper out here. Kevin Adele is here. He is also a very big car guy. So, did you bring any other cars out?
Yeah, I brought a 1962 Lincoln Continental convertible.
We appreciate everything you've done, Kevin, to bring the 910 back to life. Obviously, 910 is I think it's the oldest station in the state.
Yeah, it's 100 years old. I bought it from Disney about a year ago, and it's been successful. We've got 40 personalities, stations well known, and I'll probably buy a few more, maybe an FM and maybe another AM in the market. We average 26,000 people during each show.
With you being local and connected more to the community yourself, and obviously from here, and your family's from here,
it's local radio. I'm the only local radio station owner and TV station owner in the top 10 market. And in fact, this is the first interview I've ever done on 910.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I am honored.
And that's 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town. The 910 AM radio app is now available on iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon App Store. And guess what? It's free. Listen to all of your radio favorites on the go. It's quick, it's easy, and it's brand new just for you. The new 910 AM radio app. Download it today. The most powerful voices in the African American community are all right here on the new 910 AM radio superstation. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit, 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. I see you got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say this.
Boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio, and you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect in my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back too, knowing him.
Yeah.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
5:01 the time right now. I'm Andre Ash with a look at the latest news headlines at the top of the hour. Ford Motor Company President and CEO Mark Fields today confirmed Ford will end small car production in the United States by shifting it all to Mexico in the next 2 to 3 years. The only small cars still produced in the U.S. are the Focus and C-Max built at Michigan Assembly in Wayne. Ford announced last year it would end production of those vehicles in the U.S. in 2018. And that is a look at the latest news. Headline at the top of the hour, I'm Andre Ash. You're listening to Superstation 910 AM. The Pulse with Karen Dumas continues right now.
It's that new wave. Future Hendrix. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Hey.
You know, I had to have them play a little Future at the Seniors Power event today because they were playing. I was like, man, listen, first of all, you know, I don't like that whole old conversation. And they were playing like the theme music from Grease or something. And I said, can you play Future? And the guy said, Future? And I said, yes, let's get these old people moving before it all comes to an end, which brings us to our next segment, Life Before and After, brought to you by Pye Funeral Home. We have Ozzie Pye, who is the director and owner of Pye Funeral Home, and Rita Jordan. We talked to her last week. She's a licensed and certified pre-planning consultant. And last week we started the discussion. Welcome back to both of you. Thank you so much for being here. But last week we started the discussion about pre-planning. And, you know, we got some calls. I got some messages. I even got a text message from my sister saying it was a great segment. She said she decided some time ago that Pye was going to be her last stop. I couldn't believe she sent me that. I just showed you that message because I didn't want you to think I was making it up. And my sister, people think that I'm pretty, you know, a stickler. She is too. So, wow. But I thought that was a compliment and a testament to all the things that you're sharing here. But I wanted to kind of delve a little deeper into the pre-planning process. I thought it was important to at least attempt to finish the conversation. Let's talk, because when you talk about final arrangements, funeral services, costs are always, you know, people don't want to factor it in, but that's always at the core, and then how they're going to pay for it. So let's talk a little bit about that as it relates to pre-planning. Okay. And thank you both for being here again.
Oh, thanks for having us. Definitely.
Okay, so when it comes to pre-arranging, the most important thing that we want for our community to know that you are in total control of how much you spend. So the cost is going to be based on what you select. So when you come in, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to make your final arrangements. We give you a checklist of items to bring in terms of, we need to know your Social Security number, highest level of education completed, because we're going to complete a file, start a pre-arrangement file on you, so that at the time of death, your family won't have to figure out what your mother's middle and maiden name was. Mm-hmm. So once you come in and we do that, we talk about the type of service that you want, whether you want to be buried or you want to be cremated. We talk about the location, all of the details of the service. Then we actually go into our selection room. We have a beautiful selection room where you can comfortably touch and feel and see with your own eyes exactly what the materials, the caskets are made out of.
Not get in, like you said, one gentleman asked at one time. They asked if they could actually get in. It's like, no, it's not a car. You can't test drive it. No. All right. But other than that, anything other than that, they're welcome to do.
Yes. That's right. And then once you know the color of the casket, for example, if you're having a traditional funeral with burial at a cemetery, then you know color. We talk about a casket spray. We talk about obituaries. all of these items are going to make up an itemized bill. So you're going to get a statement of goods and services, and we want to make sure that you're so totally comfortable with what you've selected and that you're comfortable that you're going to be able to pay for it. So in terms of prearranging, do you have to pay for a prearrangement? Absolutely not. Does it benefit you to pay? Absolutely, because if you just write down your wishes, you're not locking in and guaranteeing the pricing of the funeral director and staff along with the merchandise. So the best option is to put it in writing, discuss it with the family, and then make payment arrangements. And so once we get that bill, a statement of goods and services, based on your age, the answer to one health question.
And what is that?
It's a long question. It's like, are you in a nursing home, a long-term care facility?
Okay, so once it determines, it's I guess, your current health state.
Right.
And I kind of want to go back a little bit because, especially in families of color, the conversation doesn't always take place in terms of because you may not know what your mother's maiden name was. I mean, these are things that we think that we know, but there were just conversations that just sometimes didn't happen. And do you get to the point when you're having conversations with families and they say, wait a minute, I don't know. I mean, does that happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the best time to figure it out is when you have time, not when someone is passed and we're trying to get death certificates processed. So even if you come and you don't have all the answers, the best thing is you have time to get those answers.
And then the person is there. So,
Right.
I mean, they can actually contribute to it. 313-209-9000. We are talking with Ozzie Pye, the executive director and owner of Pye Funeral Home, and Rita Jordan. She is the pre-planning consultant for Pye Funeral Home. We are talking life before and after, brought to you by Pye Funeral Home. And I've been saying this, and I will continue to say it, because it's a conversation that we don't want to have, but that we have to. So it's kind of like, you have a baby shower, you have, your birthday parties, you have your weddings, and you have your funerals. I mean,
That's
as
right.
hard as it is,
what we're doing is we're planning a celebration of life. So we're going to help you execute how you want your life memorialized and how you want it to be celebrated. So that's joyous. Whether we talk about it or not, it's going down because nobody gets out of this life alive. So it's better to talk about it and have it your way because so many people think that they know what their loved one wants.
Now, she said it's going down and have it your way in the same sentence. I'm going to let you go with that, Rita, but go right ahead. You're on a roll. Go right ahead. So I don't know if I'm at Burger King or I don't know what's going on, but you're absolutely right, though. And again, and the approach, the outlook and the approach to the discussion, should be one. I mean, we're not trivializing it because certainly it is a sad occasion, but it's an occasion that's part of life. And, if you approach it in the same way that you approach all your other life celebrations, in my opinion, I would assume that it would ease the pain. 313-209-9000. Let's talk about coordination, just how instrumental is the funeral home in coordinating all the wraparound services, if you will, the cemetery. You mentioned the obituary, the flowers, and that kind of stuff. Or are you just like a one-stop shop? You can do it all.
We try to be one-stop. Now, we cannot sell you the cemetery space, but we know that every single part of that funeral arrangement is going to impact the family's experience. So, for example, if I'm doing a prearrangement and someone tells me they've already prepaid at the cemetery, excellent. I want to make sure and see the paperwork, make sure that they have a vault, that they have everything that they need because that's going to impact the family's experience. So we are just checking, double checking, and working with our vendors to make sure that the family's experience is a good one.
Now, you brought up something that we haven't really talked about a lot, a vault. Or it's another word for that? What is it when they
outer
burial container?
No, that's the formal word. What is it?
Mausoleum.
Mausoleum. Thank you, Ozzie. I was like, if you don't know that, then we're going to stop this conversation. But yeah, I mean, so that's also an option too. Is that more expensive, and when, and usually under what circumstances do people choose those options?
Well, you can do it in the prearrangement. You have to do it definitely at the time of need. But what we do is we can't give pricing for the cemetery because some cemeteries, no matter where you bury, is one cost. Others are going to want to know, well, which garden? And based on the location, the price changes. So we try to give families a range.
Like in real life, you're going to the suburbs, you're going to, so there are, because they do that. I've heard people talk about views, you know, and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
do
fine.
You want to be under a tree?
Okay.
Near the water.
I guess I'd prefer to be near the water in life, but let me. I mean, when I was talking about the mausoleums or the vaults, I mean, when do families? Not at what point, but what am I trying to say? When they choose things like that, for what is it? What is the option? People choose cremation, sometimes because it's more cost effective, or because they don't, the concept or the thought of burying their loved one, or they choose burial because it's traditional. When do they choose? When are vaults options?
Or mausoleums.
Or mausoleums, I'm sorry.
Somebody would get a mausoleum typically if they don't want to be in the ground. There's a lot of people who kind of feel funny about that. And also, it's how the Egyptians did it. I mean, it has a history of just having its own, attraction or whatever, not, of being just kind of above ground, but still in a very, preserved space,
And I didn't know if there was just some kind of, the typical client that would pick that, or if it was a religious preference, or maybe families, maybe the wealthier families would prefer to have their. I mean, I just didn't know.
Well, let me share this tidbit too. Like take for instance in New Orleans, Louisiana. They're famous for having everything. There's all above ground. Like their whole cemetery is all above ground.
Really, I didn't know
spaces, right? Because the water table is so high down there that they can't bury, because basically just end up floating up to the top anyway.
So is everyone in a mausoleum? Or?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't do any below ground burials in that area because of the water table. So that also is an issue, depending on where you live.
Okay.
But here in Michigan, we don't really have that issue for most of. That's also a reason why in real estate a lot of times down south they don't have basements. Same reason.
I guess I never thought about it in that way. All right, 313-209-9000. If you have any questions, don't be shy. This is the opportunity to do so. This is your first step. You certainly have the opportunity to tour. You even offer tours of the funeral home. Somebody said that they just happened to be there and actually got a tour of your facility, and they were actually pretty impressed with the facility as well as the staff. We're talking with Ozzie Pye and Rita Jordan. We're talking about pre-planning. So certainly the funeral home coordinates. You can't sell them the plot, but you can help coordinate and facilitate that transaction. When we come back, we're going to talk about what controls and safeguards are in place to make sure that people are getting what they are paying for, kind of checks and balances, if you will, as well as there was some legislation that recently passed, how that's going to impact not only your industry, but the clients that you serve. We're going to continue our discussion, Life Before and After, brought to you by Pye Funeral Home, when the Pulse returns.
It's her most important day. She needs it to be perfect. So why is everything going wrong? It's no wonder these ladies are called Bridezillas.
How dare you!
Watch their weddings become slow-motion train wrecks.
My day! This is about me!
You won't believe it. Bridezillas.
Weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit. Welcome to WADL's 2016 Fall Lineup. We're excited to share our new programming lineup. We have added even more new programming this year. We're excited to add Pawn Stars, Justice for All, Scandal, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Military Makeover, Judge Faith, Coffee with America, and 50 Plus Prime to our already strong lineup. These shows have been the true performers on the traditional networks and on cable. With the success of Judge shows, we decided to add one more to complete the Judge block on WADL. That's right, you'll get 4 judges, back to back to back to back, starting at 11:30 a.m. with Judge Faith. Then it's Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Next up, it's Justice with Judge Maybelline. And finally, it's the always entertaining Justice for All. All 4 shows are sure to draw large audiences in our key demos of adults 18 to 49. Who says crime doesn't pay? WKBD and WJBK build their stations on this genre. We are taking it one step further, adding Security Brief and Cops Reloaded to the block of court shows. WADL is going to own the daytime. At 5 p.m., one of the hottest shows on cable joins the WADL lineup, Pawn Stars. Our early Fringe block will be a strong lead-in for our very popular comedy sitcoms, Raising Hope and Seinfeld. Everyone has a Seinfeld line.
No soup for you.
In Prime, the must-watch crime show Law & Order: Criminal Intent is a staple. But at 9 p.m., we now have an ultra-conservative news show. Newsmax Prime is a hard-hitting conversation of top political headlines from a conservative point of view, hosted by former Congressman Jay Hayworth. Our late-night Fringe lineup is sure to attract young men with Cheaters, Celebrity Page, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and King of the Hill. We now have a station that will attract a diverse group of viewers. Hence the tagline, WADL, Entertainment for Everyone.
Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
You give men the permission to treat you poorly. I'm very passionate about helping people, period. It doesn't matter what you tell me. What matters is when you by yourself, what you tell you. You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, eventually things are going to change. And obviously what you tell you gets you in a lot of trouble.
Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
At 12:30 on WADL Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. I see you got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say this.
Boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio. And you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect in my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back too. Knowing him.
Yeah.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm Karen Dumas. You are listening to The Pulse on 910 AM Superstation. This is Radio Our Way with the most powerful voices in the urban community, and certainly that includes yours. 313-209-9000. We're continuing with our Life Before and After series brought to you by Pie Funeral Home. Ozzy Pie, who's battling a little bit of... You sound good, though.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're fine.
Thank
you know,
you.
if not, we just shut off your mic, Ozzy, and Rita and I would finish this.
Yeah.
Rita Jordan, who is the pre-planning consultant, thought it was important to continue this conversation so that we could delve a little deeper. So, you know, we talked over the break. I wanted to talk to you about the safeguards in place to make sure people get what they want and what they pay for. But, you know, we keep talking about families, making it easier on families. What about the person who may not have either any family or relationship with their family, and they want to make sure that they don't end up as a John or Jane Doe in a morgue and without proper burial?
Mm-hmm. And that's what we talked about a little bit last week, about how people are living so much longer than before. And a lot of people, I have had neighbors bring people in that are on the verge of Alzheimer's, dementia, so they're trying to help any way they can, but they don't legally have a right to do that. They're just trying to help the person. Well, now with this new legislation, you can designate a funeral representative that will work on your behalf at the time that you pass. The one stipulation is that this person has got to be responsible for the funeral bill. So there's a lot of legs to it, and that will help us, whereas before you may have someone and there was no family. Now you can set that up, and you can even have a contingent person that is the backup to the funeral representative.
If that person doesn't come through, or they become a little negligent, or maybe they aren't in their circumstances won't allow them to meet that obligation, then you've got a backup person.
Yes, absolutely. And that's good for us, because a lot of times people just don't have anyone. They don't have any children. They're 98. And so your family are the people that are there for you when you need them.
That's true.
So the neighbors.
Doesn't always have to be blood. You're absolutely right. So let's talk a little bit about the controls and safeguards, you know, that are in place to make sure that people will actually get what they want and what they pay for.
Anytime you come into the funeral home and you're pre-arranging and you prepay, the state all over the country requires that we send that money to a fiduciary, because we're not providing you any services.
Who's collecting the interest, Rita?
Well, the interest is put aside to allow for some growth, Because if you walk into Pie Funeral Home today, you plan a $5,000 funeral. As soon as you walk out, then Mr. Pie is putting money in your funeral.
So that
Yes.
cost of living adjustment or
Right.
whatever.
It's a hedge
cost
against
of living.
inflation.
It's the hedge. And not that it always does, but at least there's minimum growth, 1.5% to 3%, and that's set by the CPI in Ann Arbor. But what we do is the benefit to the client is we lock in and guarantee the pricing. So
Okay.
funerals are going up 7 to 9% a year. Precious metal goes up, steel goes up. Casket companies are going to pass that on to the consumer. And so we can't lock in and guarantee the price and pay you interest. So the way that it's set up is that's why I'm licensed, I'm certified, I can write a burial policy. And it's not to leave anyone any money, it's just to pay for your funeral.
And I guess for me, I'm thinking like, okay, this is how I would think in terms of, all right, maybe it's minimal growth, but if in fact there have not been any increases in cost enough to be offset, if there's a couple dollars left, what happens to it? These are just questions that I would ask. So,
and 9 times out of 10, the growth doesn't even cover the increase.
9 times out of 10, you're right. But if
it
if it was, then what? What happens to? I mean, is there a designation for that?
Right. You can designate a beneficiary, because what we do is we do a new funeral bill. So a new funeral bill would show any increases in the cost. And
so
then,
not only would you get that extra $2, if in fact it's $4 more, you'd be liable to pay that $4.
Right. And then what I do is I show families all the time. And that's why at Pie Funeral Home, we have families, this is like they're on their 5th prearrangement because they see the value. Because I literally go through and say to them, wow, this went from this to this, and they can actually see the value. Even in, sometimes it's a couple of months, they will see a difference. It's like, just timing. Not that we have price increases that often, but they will see that they're saving money and they love it, and that's what keeps bringing them back.
Okay,
and there is a difference between insurance funding and a
burial
a company like what is that the companies that
it's
just
that kind
hold
of
it.
day, Ozzy, because I've been trying to I was trying to remember Colin Powell's name earlier and I couldn't. So
sorry.
go ahead, you're free. Go ahead.
Right. Well, the companies that would just simply hold the money like a funding company, like even a bank or places like that. Yeah, a fiduciary. Thank you.
Right.
Like insurance companies are a little different in terms of how they do their savings in that regard, making sure that it's followed a different line. Whereas a funeral home can go into and possibly take from from one of the fiduciary ones, but sometimes.
Okay.
But we can't do that in insurance situations at all. So I think that's just another layer of protection that we offer to families to make sure that there's no way that your money is very secure, it's very safe. And it is not going to be touched.
So let me ask you this, and I apologize in advance if this sounds like it's in poor taste, but this is also just something that I would think of, and maybe it's not you, maybe it's the service providers in terms of, caskets. Or do you ever have sales?
Yes, actually, we do.
No, I'm just asking. I mean, do you ever, and I mean, so, and what would constitute a sale, and how would you let consumers know that it exists?
If we have caskets that have sat up, for too long, maybe for display purposes or something like that, and we're just simply trying to rotate and, keep our floor looking fresh, then we may, offer that one off at a discount, and see what's available. And, sometimes it works for family, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
But, for the most part, it's always a benefit that we offer, for them. Some families just want, I want my mama in brand new stuff. We don't want to do nothing like that.
I told my kids, forget all that. Just take the money and go. Don't worry about it. I mean, seriously.
If you can get a very, very nice casket for the price of something that is, maybe in a lower class below it, then hey, a lot of people would.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, what are you going to do with it? I mean, and I understand. And again, we talked about this, I think, early on in this series that that funerals are for the living, and people have to do what's comfortable for them. If they're able to do that, and that makes them feel better, or if that's the final wishes of the deceased, then that's great. But you have to, and it's a personal choice, I mean, different people see things different ways. I think I told you about a guy that, I bumped into him. He says, Karen, we got to talk. And I said, okay, sure. I said, he said, call me tomorrow after 12. My dad died. His funeral's in the morning. Call me after 12. You're like, what? So different people respond different ways to things. Right. But want to get in, at least start the discussion about the law, the updated law that just passed in July for right of disposition. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. So once you decide that you want to designate someone, the designation needs to be in writing, dated, and signed, and there needs to be 2 witnesses. And witnesses that are not part or will be beneficiaries, for example, like a crematory or a cemetery or a funeral home. Now, a funeral home employee can witness the document, but it's just you putting in writing, and there's a document that the Michigan Funeral Directors Association shared with us where you just put in writing who's your funeral representative, who do you want to have handle your final burial decisions, and then that person will be responsible for the bill. So once that's notarized, they give us a copy, and we actually have one on file. There was one of our clients that knew about it, and she mailed in her funeral representative information. I updated her file, and so we have that on record.
Okay.
So you're able to do that, and then in terms of the payment for prearranging, you can come in, do not pay, which doesn't benefit you, but you can come in, put all your wishes in writing. You can come in and use your insurance to prearrange, or you can come in, pay in full, or you can come in and make payments. So you have a lot of options. And the one thing you asked about the cemeteries is we want to make sure that families are mindful of their entire budget. We would not want them to come in, spend all their money at pie, and not be able to bury. So we're making sure that you are aware of all the costs that are going to be involved so that there are no surprises.
Okay, well, it sounds, I have to say good, but, I mean, it makes sense. And what I have to also, we talked about this as being a part of life. You have to also understand that this is a business, I mean, and so this is an industry. I mean, it exists because there is a need. And so, because I was asking you offline if, in fact, you all had conventions and professional organizations, and you said yes. And so while it may seem, you taken aback at first, but, the reality is that you have to be in this business because people, unfortunately, pass every day. And somebody has to be able to handle that the same way we did when we had, when they came in the world. Got to come in and go out. I know. It's one of those days. I was looking at me like, what is she talking about? All right, well, we're going to continue our series. We're going to talk about this again in a different capacity and a new light next week as we continue our Life Before and After series brought to you by Pye Funeral Homes. Ozzie Pye, Executive Director and owner of Pye Funeral Home, along with Rita Jordan, who is licensed and certified as a pre-planning consultant at Pye Funeral Home. I want to thank you both for being here. And I look forward to seeing. I hope you feel better, Ozzie.
Yes, me too.
All right, we will see you next week. All right, coming up next, who would host a dinner for 400 people all at once and why? Well, Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp, the Chief Operating Officer of United Way, is here, and she's going to tell us why and how and the purpose behind it when the Pulse continues.
5:29. The time right now, I'm Andre Ash, live from the Superstation Weather and Traffic Center. Currently, it is partly cloudy and 71 degrees in the city of Detroit. Off to the roads, we are watching an accident blocking the shoulder of I-275 southbound at 5 Mile Road. Traffic is backed up to 7 Mile. This weather and traffic report is brought to you by Weather Vision and the Total Traffic Network. You're listening to Superstation 910 AM. The Pulse with Karen Dumas continues in a moment.
This Total Traffic Report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
You better not touch that dial. Everybody say, hey, hey, hey. Unless you turn it up loud, everybody say, hey, hey, hey. You better not touch that dial. Everybody say, hey, hey, hey. Unless you turn it up loud.
You are listening listening to 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community. On the next Sizzling Talk with Dr. Sabrina Jackson.
We're going to be talking about all things porn. Everything that you ever wanted to know about porn. We're going to be talking about it.
Listen to Sizzling Talk with Dr. Sabrina Jackson, nightly at 1 a.m. When you think of power, aggression, boldness, and in-your-face honesty, there's only one station that comes to mind. And that's 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town. Why? Because when it happens, we talk about it.
Something happened out at Bill Schue's house. They're saying that all the vandalism that was done by the people that were mad about the pipeline up in Mackinac. All they know is niggas is tired in the city of
Hey, watch your N-worder.
When there's corruption, we talk about it.
You believe that was a terrorist attack last night, or?
But okay, so why are you diverting from the taco?
You're diverting from the topic. This is typical Democrat stuff here.
And when there's a problem that needs to be addressed, we talk about it.
It is not what we're called, it's what we answer to.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
Time to make a deal. We're the only family-run pawn shop in Vegas.
All right, cool, man. We got a deal.
You never know who. Is that Steve Carell?
Hey, Mr. Dillon.
Driver, stop the car. Or what? Is this a chicken leg on her? Is going to come through that door. Dad, don't hurt yourself.
It looks like he's riding a vacuum cleaner.
I'll give you 6 grand. I'll give you 10 grand. Let me give you 55 grand.
Pawn Stars, weekdays at 5 p.m. on WADL Detroit.
From the crazy, twisted, brilliant mind of Seth MacFarlane.
Who?
Creator of Family Guy and American Dad.
What else is on?
Comes the Cleveland Show 5 times a week.
To Cleveland!
And it's just what you'd expect.
Yes! This show delivers.
The Cleveland Show. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at 12:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. I see you got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say this.
Boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio. And you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect in my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back to you, knowing him.
Yeah.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to the Pulse on 910 AM Superstation. This is Radio Our Way. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Remember, you can always log on to 910amsuperstation.com. You can download the app, and you can listen and watch us live stream, man. We've had the person who was supposed to come switch out twice, and, man, we hit the jackpot with the third one. The third one was really a charm. We have the Chief Operating Officer for United Way, the one and the only, Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp. I'm so glad to have you here. Man, I see when they said Tanya, so I was like, oh, cool.
I'm so excited to be here with you. You look fabulous. What's up with the foot, though?
You just look, I know, man. You know, I've been pimping too much. It hurt my foot. I don't know what's going on. But the doctor asked me, did I want a cane? I said, only if you give me a cup. He didn't understand what I was saying, but that's okay.
No canes
But you look great.
Thank you, my dear.
You do, and I don't know. I think I bumped into you, but if not, let me formally and publicly congratulate you on being named as a Chief Operating Officer at United Way. I think that's an amazing move. You are certainly the right person for that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you bring
Thank
a lot,
you.
and
Thank
you bring a lot, not only to the table, but certainly community support respect and admiration.
Why, thank you. I mean, United Way is an amazing organization, and we are here to make a difference in the city of Detroit. And my little job is to make sure that we do that to the best of our ability.
Your little job. Okay.
Yes.
All right. 313-209-9000 is our number. You want to talk to the little chief operating officer of United Way. But, Tanya, I wanted to, first of all, for people, and I can't imagine anybody that does not know who you are. Vicki is probably the most thorough PR person. She's one of maybe 2 or 3. Seriously, and having been in PR for a long time, let me publicly thank you because I have seen some raggedy stuff.
I'm not our Vicki.
Not
United Way.
Not at all. I'm just telling you. So, Tanya, you are an Orangeman out of Syracuse University.
Yes,
got a law degree from New York. You have also served as CEO of Linked Learning, which is a program you launched in connection with Connect Ed. It's a California Center for College and Career. You joined United Way just in this February, but I remember you back in the MTV days and the family. I mean, so you bring a lot. Ozzy Pye was excited when he saw you, but the purpose of this interview, one, I want people to know who you are and what you're bringing to the table. But I also want to talk about this 400-person dinner, this table at which I did not have a seat, but that's another story. So let's talk about this 400. It sounds like
bring you a chair
sounds
right
like,
here and dinner.
It sounds like one of your and Roger's parties, but that's another story. So tell me, what was that?
So Dine United was amazing. So, we usually have the torch lighting, and we were so lucky to have our torch sort of move to LED lighting, but we wanted to do something special to kick off this year's campaign. And, United Way is all about family, and our community is about family. And, we in and around Detroit know that it takes a family to make anything happen. So we wanted to represent that with the dinner, and we had the biggest family dinner that we possibly could. So it was 400 seats at an unbroken table. And people from all over the community itself, from labor, from corporations, people who represent what's actually happening out there in neighborhoods, all sitting at one table, sharing a meal together with our incredible campaign leadership that's kicking off this huge campaign for us.
That is great. Now, so tell me, how did that go logistically? I mean, I'm trying to, was everybody's just like the Waltons, everybody's passing this down, take 20. What happened? I mean,
yes, it was.
Are you
yes,
serious?
it was.
But that's kind of fun now if you think about it.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And when you walked into it was at the Easter Market. And I mean, I think that it was a perfect opportunity for us to show what we're really about. I mean, United Way is about all of us coming together to make big, huge change. And so to walk into a room, see 400 seats right next to each other, people talking, people connecting, stuff happening, it was really, really an amazing night. And most importantly, it kicks off this really important campaign that we're starting.
And that's what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about that campaign, because every year prior, you did have the torch lighting, and that signaled the start of this campaign. Let's talk about what that campaign is and its goal.
Well, we have a campaign committee led by Sergio Marchioni, which we are so amazingly blessed to have. And he, in a very impassioned speech, sort of looked at our community and said, we've got to make a difference. And this year, our campaign goal is going to be $100 million. Because if we don't do it, who else will? If we don't look around at the folks that are in need, particularly in this time, we are going to miss something very, very important. So it was critical to him, it's critical to us, and we're all sort of pushing for that huge outcome.
Well, if anybody can do it, certainly you have him at the table.
Well,
I mean, I don't doubt his ability to bring that together. But, Tanya, I often talk about the fact that we consistently have 5,000 organizations and 5,000 problems.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we still got 5,000 organizations, 5,000 problems. What do we need to do differently as a community at large and organizationally? What are we not doing that we need to do?
Well, one of the things we need to do is identify our problems clearly and really come together to solve them. I mean, one of the things that United Way has done and is doing and will be doing a lot more of is kind of convening the community to come together around problems in a way that makes sense. And then we also do that in the way that we fund organizations in the community in a really smart way. So it's not scattershot. Like you said, 5,000 problems, 5,000 people going at it and all going potentially in different directions doesn't get us to outcomes. But we are really focused on making sure that we move the needle, make our investments wisely, bring the proper people together. And it's not about United Way being out front, because we need to be invisible. But we need to convene and help connect and help move it forward in a way that makes sense.
So if people hear United Way, just give me a thumbnail just for those who are listening that may or may not know exactly what United Way does and how it operates.
So United Way has a number of programs. The ones that most of us are familiar with is, you give to the United Way, and the United Way finds really deserving organizations. And I can't overstate how important that is. United Way helps fund the safety net that exists for people. We fund things like 211, the call center.
Which, to me, is the most, and it has been for years. I mean, because people call here all the time, or they ask me, where do I go for this? What do I do? And I always tell them, call 211. And they say, what is that? So just call. They will put you in touch with the resources, an organization or a support system or an answer to your challenge. I think that is probably that's the best resource that I've seen in the city in a long time.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Karen. But, 211 is there for our community. If you are in crisis, if you have something that you can't figure out how to face, it's one phone call and you will get a kind ear, a loving person to help connect you to the resources that are here in the city to help take care of you. That's what 211 is there for, and that's what United Way is there for.
Because I think that people don't really realize that, and this is why I try to share as many resources and information that I possibly can, because people don't know what exists in this community. And as a result, they suffer, they struggle, or they end up staying in a place that they don't necessarily have to stay because they don't have what it takes to transition out of there. But, yeah, I've thought that a long time. I was teased. I forgot. Who did we talk to before? Was it Dr. Gray that we were talking to? And I said, I remember when the book came out, 211.
Yes.
And that was on another radio station. And I would have to flip through the book and say, wait a minute, I'm going to find, whatever this is. But I do believe that people would do better if they knew better. And, again, there are resources here in the city of Detroit. And if you are wondering what to do or where to go, 211 is the quickest. It is the easiest.
Call 211. I mean,
seriously.
Crisis problems, we all have them. Everybody looks up sometimes. And the problem is people start to feel isolated and they feel alone, but they're not. They're not. We're here. So call 211 and we'll help you get what you need.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break in a second, and we're going to find out what your vision is for United Way under your leadership. I know it's going to be
Dr. Gray's leadership.
Well, I understand Dr. Gray, and I have nothing but the utmost respect. But you also have your lane at United Way, and I want to find out how that's going to have the Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp stamp on it. I mean, which is going to be unique and stylish and effective and progressive and productive and all those things.
I did not pay you.
We've talked. No, you didn't. People, my opinion cannot be bought. People know that. But no, I have nothing but respect for Dr. Gray, and I have even more respect for Dr. Gray for bringing you on as Chief Operating Officer. We're going to continue this conversation. We're talking with Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp. She's the Chief Operating Officer of United Way. Their campaign is kicking off, and we're going to find out how you can contribute as well as benefit from the efforts under United Way. You're listening to The Pulse. I'm Karen Dumas. Don't go away.
This traffic report is brought to you by Zemas Jury and Loan, Michigan's largest pawnbroker since 1923. Your grandfather did business with us, you should too.
Some stations report headlines, but we make the headlines.
I am a part of the hip-hop generation. Second and third, I represent the hip-hop generation. He is the hip-hop mayor, okay? Hip-hop is not all bad. Hip-hop is good as well. Let me tell you something about me, clown. Clown. Bro, you a clown. You're a clown. Don't insult me, bro. You don't know me. You a clown. Yeah, you sound like a complete fool.
Usually I got at least 2 to 5 years.
And you mean to tell me that they're not police officers out there getting love, too? Now, you need to go sit down somewhere. No, it ain't. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You said you law enforcement, and you mean to tell me...
I've seen her 20 times in a residential neighborhood, butt naked, running down the street, and she would have lifted the jail up and threw me underneath.
910 Superstation is off the chisang. I was like, wow, I can't believe I missed this actual interview, your last interview.
910 AM Superstation. We do radio our way.
Yeah. 910 radio our way. It's the best part of your day. 910 the city of Detroit. Everybody lift your voice. 910 the superstation across the nation. Uncut conversation. 910 politics to relationships. This is the largest voice in the urban. 910 radio our way.
910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary. Thank you for calling 910 AM Superstation. What's your question or comment?
Last year, there was over 1,200 murders, people murdered by cops. What you also got to look at is that you got to look at the population of.
And let me just say it was 1,400. Wait a minute, it's 4.
I'm not done. You don't interrupt, man. Hold on 1 minute.
Wait a minute, hold on for a minute. You ain't gonna tell me what to do on my show. Nah, I had interrupted you, and I was told by my wonderful engineer that I am coming across as an angry black woman. And so therefore, I want to apologize to everyone for having too much coffee today. But I'm sorry, and I want to apologize for being an angry black woman.
Take down the number and lock us in your speed dial. It's 313-209-9000. That's 313-209-9000. One more time, 313-209-9000. On the next Greg Davis Show.
Good morning! Join me and the crew in the morning as we talk about politics, hot topics, 54 days to the election. What's going on? That's what we're going to talk about in the morning.
Listen to the Greg Davis Show, weekdays at 5 a.m. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. I see you got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say this.
Boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio. And you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect on my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back to you. Knowing him.
Yeah.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
Let's pull the 2-seat out, baby. It's wherever you want to go.
Just vibe into the music. This is how we do it.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned. This is Karen Dumas, and you are listening to The Pulse on 910 AM Superstation. Hopefully your Wednesday is amazingly wonderful. 313-209-9000 is our number. We are talking with Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp. She is the Chief Operating Officer of United Way for Southeastern Michigan. And we were talking about the first ever Dine United.
Yes.
We talked about that, kicking off the campaign. We talked about 211, which I think is amazing. Let's talk about how people can support the campaign.
Well, the easiest way is to go to liveunitedscm.org website. Right? So you can give on our website, and then some of you may have campaigns happening at work, and you can choose to take part in that, which we'd appreciate. But certainly go to the website, check out what we do, and, it'd be great to have you as a partner.
Well, and as we talk about some of the challenges, I don't think any one thing is probably more important as it relates to a solution than education.
Yes.
So let's talk about United Way's involvement or role in education.
I mean, United Way has been a key player in schools here in the city and in the surrounding areas because, with work starting back in 2008, United Way stepped in to try to turn around the dropout crisis that we had. And they successfully did a turnaround initiative that took a number of our high schools from graduation rates in the 50-60% to the 80% goal. So they've addressed really key issues, and now we're moving into something that I think is really important. We talked about United Way serving as this important backbone of support. We've got a moment right now in Detroit in terms of our public school history to define what we're going to give to students. We've got a great superintendent with interim superintendent Merriweather. Alicia Merriweather is wonderful and has a really amazing vision around developing college and career pathways for students. United Way is supporting this work. Can you imagine if every student in the city of Detroit went to high school and came out of high school ready for college and with some sort of occupational certification so that they could go straight to work if they wanted to? So we're going to be working with DPS, funded by the J.P. Morgan Chase Foundation, funded by the Skillman Foundation, who's been in this work for so long, along with the Ford Foundation, to create these college and career pathways in 20 schools over the next 3 years. So, for example, if you wanted to go into an IT pathway, you can go to a school, do projects that help you build programs and solve problems in your community, come out, be able to get a good ACT or SAT score, and then have some sort of programming certification. What about healthcare? What if you came out of a healthcare pathway? And we've done this already. The kids at Cody got a firefighter.
We talked
Right,
to them
we
and had
talked
them on
about
the show. Yeah.
Yes, okay. That was through the work of United Way, along with other partners like the fire department, the mayor's office. So it's about coming together to create these college and career pathways. And if our students know that there is an actual opportunity waiting for them out of high school, we expect to change the game.
And that's part of the conversation, too, so that people know what those options are. And,
Yes.
and vocation,
Yes.
you know, even entrepreneurship. I mean, these
That's
are
right.
conversations that need to be had. But let's talk about what the community needs to do. You know, I said earlier today that it's not any one person, one organization,
No.
one elected official's responsibility. It's a partnership.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes we don't have the kind of conversation we need to as it relates to the community's involvement. What, you know, the self involvement of what their responsibility. What does it look like in terms of community contribution to help make what you just talked about as it relates to education a success?
Well, as I said, I think we're at a unique moment, and we've got the kinds of employers who are coming to the table who really want to build something amazing for students because they also need the folks to come and work for them. So in the community, we can step up and surround our schools. We can wrap our arms around our schools as parents. We can get engaged and give solid feedback and be positive supporters of what the teachers are trying to do, helping your students figure out how they can be successful and lean in. We can also provide we can be mentors to students. We can help people come out and shadow us one day and find out about what we do. We can find that spark in a young person and help keep it lit for them so that they can move their way forward. So there's all kinds of opportunities for us to connect. The thing is, for us to get out of our lane, get out of our sort of self-focus and look out and see these young people as the tremendous brain powers that they are.
And I think part of that, too, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to always say it because maybe somebody missed it the last time, we got to stop being afraid of our young people.
That's right.
I mean, we really
Absolutely
do.
right.
I hear that is the most disappointing thing in the world when I hear someone our age or, you know, just someone older than a young adult, and they say, oh, you know, those kids, man, they're terrible. They're bad. I said, well, somebody said that about us. You
I was
know,
about
they
to
didn't
say half of those people talking.
That's what I'm
excuse
saying.
me.
I know,
Okay, I remember you.
That's what I'm
right.
That's what I'm saying. And so, you know, maybe you don't understand them, or maybe you may not like how they dress or the music they listen to, but don't be afraid of them. You know,
This is a child. All right? This is a child. And what we have in our children is what we put into our children. And if you meet somebody coming from a place of respect and you meet somebody where you want to see good for them, you know, you start in a really good place. But starting defensive, being in fear, all of this is not going to do us any good because these children really are our future. And that's the other thing. They are children.
They are. And, you know, and I always say this, too. We have to stop penalizing our kids for not knowing what we have not taken the time to teach them.
Absolutely.
I mean, we talk about this kids. Okay, well, what have you told them? You know, what is it?
Absolutely.
So I get a little feel for it anyway, but what's going to be the Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp thumbprint on the United Way as Chief Operating Officer under the leadership of Dr. Herman Gray? I mean, we got that. I mean,
All right, so
not taking anything away from him, but, I mean, certainly you're there for a reason. In any place that you've ever gone, you have left a very impressive thumbprint. You've left your signature on that organization. So what is it going to look like at United Way?
Thank you, Karen. What I will tell you is that Dr. Gray has a tremendous vision for this organization. And the first thing that he is imparting to all of us, that we are here to serve, that the United Way is here to serve, the United Way is here to make a difference. So within the context that he's creating, what you can look for from me are impactful programs, but the main thing is that United Way is going to leverage itself in a way that's going to change the game for the community, all right? We're going to be making connections. We are going to take on the kind of work where people will stand back and go, oh, yes, what would we do without United Way? What would Detroit be without United Way? What would Southeastern Michigan be without United Way? So I've been there 3 months. We're working on it. There will be more to come, and this will be the first place for us, Dr. Gray and I, to come and talk about it.
All right. Well, I've talked to Dr. Gray. I think we talked at Mackinac, you know, and he is welcome anytime, as are you. And we certainly, because I think United Way is an important piece of the community. Again, it's a resource that people need to not only know about and take advantage of, in terms of resources, but also contribute to and be a part of. I mean, you guys have activities to bring the community together. You talked about Dine United. There are things throughout the year where people can participate. You can go to the website if you want to make a contribution or know more about United Way. And again, if you have a question or an answer, a question or a challenge or a problem, and you don't know where to go, 211 is your starting point.
Well, Ms. Karen, I will tell you this briefly. I so appreciate you setting it up, but, you know, what we do understand at United Way is that we hold a very special trust. When people donate to us, when people take out of their checks and give money to us, they have a right to expect that we are going to do the best possible thing and turn that $1 into $10 of impact. And that's what we are going to do. So we understand that, and we're going to work around the clock until, you know, we deliver.
Well, I don't doubt that. You know, you got Dr. Gray's put together a great team. You know, I said already I'm impressed by Vicki when she first started. I was like, my God, you know, somebody, wow, it still exists. I'd appreciate that. And certainly you, Tanya, so good to see you. You
So
look
good to see
amazing. When are
you.
you going to
So
start
do you.
aging?
Oh, please. Let's not even go there. But
God.
I just want to be like you, Miss
Yeah,
Beautiful
right.
Dumas.
Okay.
Seriously,
All right.
Miss
Yeah.
Beautiful Dumas.
There's your other orangeman walking down there, Derek.
Oh, get out of here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. We'll do that. This is live radio.
This
in
is
Detroit.
live radio.
It's
I'm
okay. You know,
sorry.
anytime. No, I'm saying that's fine. It works for me. Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp, Chief Operating Officer of United Way of Southeastern Michigan. Thank you so much for being here. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
And you and Dr. Gray are welcome back anytime.
Thank
and
you
next
so
time,
much.
save me a seat at the table.
We will. Thank you so much.
All right, you're more than welcome.
All
Coming
right.
up next, we're going to talk to former NBA great Derek Coleman and Jay Alexander. We're going to talk about pros for PAL. We may even give away some tickets. Stay tuned.
This is Attorney Carl Collins III, and since 1996, I have successfully represented thousands of victims throughout these United States of America. If I can be of service to you, call me at 855-CAR-HIT-YOU.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation.
Get ready. Football time. Back to school, homie.
Who else but 910 AM can give you this much excitement, this much flavor, this much fun? Catch it all right here on 910 AM Superstation.
Now this is why I love y'all.
We are 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community.
Take a laughcation with American Dad. Fly the friendly airways.
Right here, honey.
See the sights.
What's up?
Relax and unwind.
Just gotta find my quiet place. I got ya. I'll come back to that one.
It's an all-inclusive comedy getaway.
Get a picture of these. Meow.
Take a laughcation with American Dad. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at 12 midnight on WADL Detroit. On the next On Point with Ralph Godby.
Hey, this is Ralph Godby 910. Thank you for listening to today's show. Stay tuned for the next On Point with Ralph Godby, kicking it with Kayla and our entertainment correspondent, Stacy Smith.
Listen to On Point with Ralph Godby, weekdays at 9 a.m. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary. Thank you for calling 910 AM Superstation. What's your question or comment?
Fast food is not a skill. If you were at home and you had to eat, you know how to fix a sandwich. The register for the cashiers, everything is on the key for the cashier. What makes that a skill? So complicated to say that you deserve $15 an hour.
Next caller, 910 AM Superstation. What's your question or comment?
It burns me up too, man, when I see people that are fixing food and they ain't wearing gloves and they ain't got no finesse. Man, that burns me up, man.
But I bet you still eat the food, though.
Man, I can't lie. I done been guilty.
Call in and chime in on the conversation. Take down the number and lock us in your speed dial. It's 313-209-9000. That's 313-209-9000. One more time, 313-209-9000. Pull out your smartphones and tablets right now and follow the hottest station in town. That's right, 910 AM Superstation is bringing the conversation to social media. Search us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. The most powerful voices in the African American community are all on the new 910 AM radio superstation. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit, 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary.
All right. Proud to hear you on the radio. I see you got Daz on there again.
Hey, Dad, you supposed to be calling in about the topic, not you. You having a personal conversation on the radio. You supposed to call about the topic. You supposed to say
Hey,
this.
boy, hey, watch your mouth. My name is Daddy. Remember that.
Hey, don't go through my boxes at the house either.
What?
Them boxes, man. Stop going through my personal stuff. That stuff got my name on the box. You gonna put some respect on my stuff too.
I had a detour at your house. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, cut him off. You cut him off? Good. Yeah, that's right. You might got some power at home, but we got the power of the studio. And you gonna call up in here, disrespect me. You gonna put some respect in my name.
He talking good now, but when he get home, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, you're right. He might be at my house when I get back too, knowing him.
Yeah.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
6 o'clock the time right now. I'm Andre Ash with a look at the latest news headlines at the top of the hour. A family physician who operates a medical marijuana clinic in Oakland County is jailed on charges he made internet threats last weekend to kill Oakland County Prosecutor Jessica Cooper, 2 assistant prosecuting attorneys, and others. Dr. Kuma Singya of Royal Oak was arrested last Sunday after 2 of his targeted victims made police reports after learning of the threats allegedly made by Sahi on Facebook on September 10th. And that is a look at the latest news headline at the top of the hour. I'm Andre Ash. You're listening to Superstation 910 AM. The Pulse with Karen Dumas continues right now.
Took a shot at Henry, I be going brazen. They say my whole hood got it under investigation. They know they talk that stick talk. They know we talk that lick talk. $10 million cash, friend. Started sipping syrup, I've been geeked ever since. Gotta keep that heat on the seed ever since. You know we talk that stick talk. I'm about to this cash up.
Welcome back. You want to go ahead and rap?
I don't even know.
you
Who
don't?
is that? Who is that?
Oh, forget it. This interview is over.
Who is that?
Derek Coleman, I'm throwing you out of here. You are kidding me.
I have no idea who that is, Karen.
I thought Derek was like, oh, cool, she's playing something.
Who is that? You still ain't named the artist
Future.
yet. Exactly. My point. Exactly.
Oh, no.
So that's rap music. You know, I'm hip hop. You know, hip hop is a culture. You know, it's the way we dress. You know, it's break dancing. It's freestyling.
What was yesterday?
Huh?
What was yesterday?
What was yesterday?
Yeah, what was yesterday?
What do you mean?
Mr. Hip Hop, what was yesterday? Yesterday was a key
come
day.
on, man. Pac. Come
Okay,
on,
all right.
man.
I just want to make sure. I just want
know, yeah. Come on
well,
now.
don't come here, dog. Future.
I don't. Hey, I don't know nothing about that. I'm sorry.
Clearly.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
listen,
I stay on backspin or either what is it, 105, something like that. You know.
I was gonna say, well, you know, I'm glad you played basketball better than you rap, but that's okay. So glad to have in the studio. We got Jay Alexander from PAL and Derek Coleman, former NBA great, and he too is an Orange. We got a Syracuse Universe reunion going on here at the Pulse, and they are here to talk about Pros for PAL. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Karen.
thank
you knew who that was, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I
listen to your show, so I know it. That's the only reason why I know it too.
Wait a minute, when I saw Derek bouncing, I said, oh, you know, he likes the music. We'll let him play.
Yeah, I like the music, but when the lyrics came in, I didn't understand
Let me
that.
tell you what my
Karen.
son said. My son said, everybody's complaining about Future, but they can understand the Pope. Like, I don't understand. I don't get that. And he said, how's everybody complaining about that? But anyway, that's not why we're here today. We're here to well, that's a Fall Through Friday. So, Derek, you have to come back on a Fall Through Friday. We'll straighten that out. But in the meantime, you gentlemen are here to talk about an organization that we all know, that we love, and that we continue to talk about and share and encourage support and participation in, and that is Detroit PAL. There's an event coming up. We may even let Derek give away a couple tickets if they want to join us. But let's talk about what that event is and what it is about, what it's going to accomplish.
Well, it's a Pros for PAL event. It's one of the events that we have scheduled to raise money for the kids that we serve in the inner city. And every dime that we raise goes right to the kids in the inner city. And it's an opportunity for us to get the pros together, and not only pros, but pros that are alumni of ours, to come back and say, hey, here's something that we're doing in the city that we support and we're right behind. So, like last year, we had Joik Bell, we had Corey Fuller, Jason Jones, George Wynn, people like that, and Willie Burton, and we had Merle Davis, the gold medal ice skater. So Yeah, it's a big event, free food, $150 for a VIP ticket. You get to play games against the pros, and you get to compete against them in some
We get to hear Derek rap.
That's right. We might.
For $150.
Hey, that might be a new one.
Oh yeah, I mean, we need to have what do you call
a
it?
hip-hop challenge.
Whatever. We need to do something like that. But Derek,
hip-hop versus rap.
You got it.
Okay.
Man,
all right. Come on with it, Karen. Come on with it.
Never mind. Listen.
Right, exactly.
Derek, I want to talk about, because you are just unapologetically committed to young people. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing these days.
Well, I mean, for me, Karen has always been in my DNA. I was raised that way. I've been a PAL kid, all my life. I think that without PAL, I wouldn't be the person, that I am. And for me to be able to be in a situation where I can, I would say, use my voice or use my notoriety to help bring awareness to, the kids at PAL, has always been a passion of mine. And, with DC Elite, which we started 3 years ago, with basketball, actually just bringing basketball, the exposure of the game of basketball back to the city of Detroit. It's been challenging, but it's also been successful. This summer we had 40 teams participate in our summer league, which is unheard of here in the city of Detroit. We had teams from Grosse Pointe, West Bloomfield. But again, it gives the opportunity for kids to be in a safe environment to play the game of basketball and to learn and get inspiration from pros, sitting there on the sideline. Myself, Jimmy King, Terry Mills, Grant Long, Willie Burton, but you get the opportunity to see these guys and really have intimate conversations with them.
Well, let's talk about, you said you've been a PAL kid.
Yes.
You've always been. I mean, let's talk about the influence that PAL had on you, not just as an athlete, but as a person.
You know what? People would never believe this, that I didn't play organized basketball until I came to Detroit.
Okay, that was the best place. That's the best place to do it.
At 12 years old.
Right.
I mean, I grew up playing baseball and football. I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama, and my family moved here. When I first moved here, first time I ever played organized basketball, and I played for PAL. So
Wow.
that taught me in the beginning not only just the friendships and the relationships, but it taught me discipline. It taught me teamwork. It taught me camaraderie. It taught me, who I could depend on. And for me to be able to participate and play in PAL and to then be able to be successful in high school, college, and the NBA, but to come back and sponsor kids that still participate in the PAL this day. My Uncle Yogi is the football coach over at the Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I've been buying uniforms for them,
has.
since 1990. When we had the Hutchins Dragons in my neighborhood, I'm from 12th Street and Hazelwood, that I would sponsor those kids, over there in my neighborhood. So it's always been a part of me, giving back and helping kids to achieve some of their goals and some of their dreams through sports.
313-209-9000 is our number. We're talking with Jay Alexander from Detroit PAL, and we have in the studio, I'm going to call you a former Orangeman.
That's right.
That's Syracuse. Forget the NBA stuff.
I bleed orange, baby.
I know you do.
He does.
Derek Coleman are in the studio. Jay, let's talk a little bit about the importance of the involvement of alumni. I mean, not just professionals,
Yes.
but just people who have come through PAL and know firsthand its importance and its impact.
Right. The impact is countless. I tell you, the impact is amazing on what we can do to help these kids. And we keep those kids off the streets from 3 to 6. And every time we have a willing volunteer that cares about those kids feel like they can accomplish something, like Derek, like myself, like Willie Burton, and just to name a few, Jalen Rose, all those individuals. And so, that kept us off the street, from those times where we can get in trouble, go to gang wars or join a gang, do things like that. And so the impact of the volunteers and for those to come back and give their time, not necessarily money, but their resources, their time, their energy, their promotion of us, and the one thing I'll say about DC is that people don't know the Derek Coleman that I know, right? The Derek Coleman that I know.
Okay, pretend like he's not here to tell us.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I need some dirt on him, so tell me.
You need
but y'all, everybody already know the dirt on him.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what DC's about. DC's about not receiving any accolades, and I give him praise all the time. He's always in the neighborhood. I found him at DEPSA when I first met him, when I came back in PAL. And I'm like, man, what are you doing here? He was like, man, the kid called me down the street, so I just showed up. And this is what D.C. does. He just show up and help these kids and the reason why he said he's down here helping these kids, because somebody came down there to help him.
That's right.
You know, and that's the D.C. that I know, the guy that's in the community. Like with his summer league camps, he feed those kids.
Yes.
He feed those kids healthy meals and Gatorade after they play. And before, to give them good nutrition so they can actually perform. See, people don't know that. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what DC Elite does.
And that's what I want to. That's what I want to share, because people, they so often sit back, and they're quick to criticize, what somebody is not doing, what they think they should do.
Right.
Not really aware of what actually goes on and how much you do give, not because you want attention. That's why nobody knows, but you're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Well, for me, it's always been grassroots, and again, it's been instilled in me since I was a kid, and. In my family, I give all praises due to, Mayor Bing, who has been my mentor since I've been 13 years old. And I think in some ways I'm subtle sometimes, like him, But
subtle?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah. Depends on what day of the week it is.
Okay.
He'll tell you what he means, but
I'm
subtle.
always going to tell you what I mean. I'm going to get my point across.
That's a good thing.
But, my Uncle Robert, I would say, working at Ford, Karen, and he would wake us up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. We would have to clean his car off before he went to work. So be me and my cousins out there shoveling snow.
Kids don't know that.
They don't know. They don't even know what shoveling snow is or cutting grass. But my uncle would make us clean our neighbors' driveways out before we went to school. Get Miss Johnson, get Mr. Smith, get Miss Eileen, and we could never take any money. This is before we even went to school. So me and my cousin would be out there shoveling snow early in the morning, and then we would go back in the house and get ready to go to school. So it's just been instilled in me all my life, about helping people. And again, it's just like Jay said, it's not about the money. Yeah. It's your time.
But that's what we keep saying, and I'm hopeful that our listeners hear something that sparks them, that want to make them want to participate. I keep saying we got to stop being afraid of our kids. People say, they've got those sagging pants and that loud music and all, and they don't they want to be afraid of them, not understanding at one time you were dressing or listening to something that the adults at that time pulled back on as well. So we've got to be able to help recreate that village that DC's talking about, because you're right, we had to do for our neighbors. I used to have to go grocery shopping.
Right.
Like, what?
Exactly.
That's
so
right.
That's what we're missing. Just what you said, that village, that community. Our community is so separated now that it's sad that what you just said, with a kid wearing his pants sagging, and people say that all the time. But how can I tell a kid to pull his pants up if his parents at home is not telling him to pull his pants up?
All right.
And it's a loss of respect. And that's what we're missing when you talk about community.
Is that CT or K? All right. Anyway, we'll have that conversation. We're going to continue talking to DC, the one and only Derek Coleman and Jay Alexander. We're talking about Pros for Pal, and we'll see what day of the week it is. And maybe DC feels like giving away a pair of tickets. The Pulse will be right. This isn't even fall through Friday, but we'll be right back.
Put your hands up now!
Do you have anything illegal on you?
Hands up. Get on the ground!
Recharged.
He's running. He's running.
Sheriff's Department, stop!
What is that?
Re-energized.
Stop resisting! Crawl towards me.
Tase him. Get ready.
Reloaded.
You looking for some fun?
Got him. Hey, there's no point crying now.
Bad boys, bad boys.
All new Cops Reloaded. Viewer discretion advised at 3 p.m. on WADL Detroit. Welcome to WADL's 2016 Fall Lineup. We're excited to share our new programming lineup. We have added even more new programming this year. We're excited to add Pawn Stars, Justice for All, Scandal, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Military Makeover, Judge Faith, Coffee with America, and 50 Plus Prime to our already strong lineup. These shows have been the true performers on the traditional networks and on cable. With the success of Judge shows, we decided to add one more to complete the Judge block on WADL. That's right, you'll get 4 judges, back to back to back to back. Starting at 11:30 a.m. with Judge Faith. Then it's Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Next up, it's Justice with Judge Maybelline. And finally, it's the always entertaining Justice for All. All 4 shows are sure to draw large audiences in our key demos of adults 18 to 49. Who says crime doesn't pay? WKBD and WJBK build their stations on this genre. We are taking it one step further, adding Security Brief and Cops Reloaded to the block of court shows. WADL is going to own the daytime. At 5 p.m., one of the hottest shows on cable joins the WADL lineup. Pawn Stars. Our early Fringe block will be a strong lead-in for our very popular comedy sitcoms, Raising Hope and Seinfeld. Everyone has a Seinfeld line.
No soup for you.
In prime, the must-watch crime show Law & Order Criminal Intent is a staple. But at 9 p.m., we now have an ultra-conservative news show. Newsmax Prime is a hard-hitting conversation of top political headlines from a conservative point of view, hosted by former Congressman Jay Hayworth. Our late-night Fringe lineup is sure to attract young men with Cheaters, Celebrity Page, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and King of the Hill. We now have a station that will attract a diverse group of viewers. Hence the tagline, WADL, entertainment for everyone.
You better not touch that dial. Everybody say, hey, hey, hey. Unless you turn it up loud, everybody say, hey, hey, hey. You better not touch that dial. Everybody say, hey, hey, hey. Unless you turn it up loud.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community.
We got London on the track.
Whoa. Yeah, man, TIP in this motherfucker. To the max with it. Rex. I count 6 shots.
Welcome back. This is Karen Dumas, and you are listening to The Pulse on 910 AM. Is this better?
Is that still that same dude? Huh? Who was that? T.I.?
T.I. was something.
Don't even sound like it. Can I get some new edition or something? You know?
Ooh, well, go ahead.
Let me get some E&E.
Listen, DC's
some Pac, some Nas. It's Nas' birthday today too. Let me get some
okay,
Nas.
we'll do some Nas. We played Tupac all day yesterday, but
let me get some Nas, baby.
But because DC's gonna roll for at least a pair of tickets, that's $300.
That's
so
right.
we're gonna give away
That's right.
today before we let them go, and then let him listen to whatever he wants to listen
Give me some
to.
Nas, man. If I rule the world, imagine that.
Just don't give me that. What's that song? I know I can be what I hate that song.
Be what I want to be.
I hate that song. Do not play that song, Rachel, or you won't make it to your Labor Day. Don't play that song. All right, we got Derek. We got Derek Coleman and Jay Alexander.
In the studio threatening people.
You know
That's
how
not
she
a
rolls.
threat. I was just
That's a
telling them.
promise. That's
I
right.
hate that song, man. It's only a few songs that I really don't like. That's one
That's
of them.
one
That
of 'em. Okay.
and Steph Curry's daughter ruined it for me for that way up. I feel that man. That's another. I can't listen to her because she ruined it for me. Cute little girl.
Yes.
Long story.
Yes.
Anyway, Derek, you were talking about the need to restore and rebuild our community around our children. And certainly Pros for PAL, which is coming up on September 23rd from 6 to 11 at Atwater Brewery, is the opportunity to do that. You or Jay weigh in as to how this is a start of reconnecting and rebuilding the community that we're missing.
Well, I think that, we've got so disconnected from PAL over the years, with first we were PAL, then we were Think Detroit PAL, and, now we're back to PAL. So I think it's been a huge disconnect and everything that's going on. And for me, PAL has always been grassroots.
Absolutely.
Our police force have always been our coaches. Again, when you're talking about the commitment to community. So when you have an incident in a community,
Absolutely.
and we as kids standing there on the corner and seeing what's going on, when those police officers used to pull up and be like, hey, man, that's my coach.
Exactly.
And the police officer always be like, come here.
That's
and
right.
That's your coach. You're going to respect, right, and tell me who.
Yeah.
And you're going to respect that. Like, look,
That's
coach, this is what happened. This is what I saw, whatever have you. So we have to get back to that. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to start bringing that merger back together.
All right, let's talk about the alumni outreach because you've been calling for the alums to come back to be a part, be official member of the PAL alumni group, or just to come back and say, hey, you know, I forgot about PAL. I forgot about how important it was to me in my neighborhood, and I want to create that for the next generation. How is that going?
It's going very well. And in fact, we've done the grassroots, or started it anyway, and started the outreach to the community and going down to different entities. And now we're thinking we have to go into the community meetings. We're going to start going to community meetings. We're going to start navigating back through the community from which we came, right? All our volunteers are from that same community that we're trying to get back to. So we're going to start doing those various outreaches to make sure that we're touching everybody and say, hey, you know what? PAL is still here. Because believe it or not, a lot of people don't know we're still here in our own community, even though we're in 106 schools.
Because you're getting a little overshadowed by all the new stuff that's going on. But all right, 313-209-9000 is our number. Mike, good afternoon. Thanks for the call.
Hello, how you guys doing today?
Good. All right, Mike.
All right. Hey, man, good job. In D.C., you're not going to hear no music on there that's going to make no sense. All you're going to hear that's it.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
And as far as the threat on the air, she been told me she got the Glue Squad on speed dial.
But you know I love you, Mike. You know, but I did. I mean, but no, he was. I don't know. He was actually. I think Mike was actually taking up for me because somebody said something, and he was like, "Karen, I think so. I don't know. I can't tell, but you know, I do. But that's all right too. 313-209-9000 is our number. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Hey, this is Mark S. Lee from Small Talk. Mark S. Lee, how you doing? I recognize that voice anywhere. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm good. I was leaving the studio as well. But I got to tell you something. I got three Detroit legends I'm talking to. Jay Alexander, Karen Dumas, and DC. How you guys doing?
Oh, wow. You putting me in that group? But you know what? You're right in that group. So we got 4 on the line, Mark. How you doing?
That's right. All right. Real quick. I just want to say one thing, and I mean this in all sincerity, Karen. That Detroit PAL event is going to be phenomenal. I was raised in Northwest Detroit, DC, where you're off of 12th Street in Hazelwood there. Yes. I was off of Linwood and Davison way back in the day.
Right.
And I told Jay the story about one of the first people I met was Dick Night Train Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the executive director for Detroit PAL. And he and I went to church together in Northwest Detroit. And he used to tell me all those stories about Detroit PAL. I just want to say this to the entire city of Detroit. Get out and support that next week. This is a great organization. It's doing wonderful things for the kids in the great Motor City. And I just want to call and commend you, Karen, for your support and all the great things that you're doing across the city of Detroit. DC, keep it up. Jay Alexander, you're doing some great stuff, man. I mean that.
So will we see you there, Mark S. Lee? Will we see you there next week?
Yes.
Well, week after next, whatever day it is. It's the 23rd.
I will definitely be there at Atwater. I will be there from 6 until 11. I'm looking forward to supporting this great event. No question.
Well, I'll be there at 7:30, so hold it down. Save me a seat.
That's right.
All right,
Mark.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks. You know, Derek, you brought up a good point. You know, a lot of people are confused about PAL because of the name change.
Yes.
But what's the one thing that has been consistent in spite of the name changes? I mean,
well, for me, the one thing that has been consistent is the kids. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You know,
and the volunteers.
And the volunteers. You know, getting those kids the opportunity to really participate in sports, especially with all the recreation centers and everything else that's closing around the city. So, you know, that's their outlet. And for a lot of our children, you know, that is their only outlet when they're dealing with everything else that goes along at home. I think the biggest problem for us, Karen, has always been, you know, sports has always been a part of our lives, but nobody ever wants to address the social issues that our children deal with. And for me being a PAL kid, like, that was an outlet for me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And, you know, we keep, and I keep saying this, and I hate to keep saying it. I feel like a broken record. But, you know, we got 4,000, and I always say we have 5,000 organizations and 5,000 problems. And at the end of the day, we still got 5,000 organizations and 5,000 problems. So, I mean, does the solution lie in community involvement, awareness, engagement? I mean, it's not the responsibility of an elected official, of any one organization. What is it that the community needs to hear that they have not heard to help them partner in their progress?
Well, it's just us. You know, They need to get off their butt,
That's
period.
it.
You know, you can't sit here and continue to point the finger, you know, you should be doing that. We should be doing this. Well, what are you doing? So, you know, we need engagement from everybody in those communities, in those neighborhoods, to volunteer and be, you know, a volunteer and sponsor a kid or whatever have you. But just to be engaged as parents, come out and just watch and participate. Whether you getting water or Gatorade for a child, or you patting them on the back or whatever, just giving them some encouragement. That goes a long way.
All right, let's talk about, you said, you know, encouraging, sponsoring a child. How would one go about doing that, Jay?
They can go to DetroitPal.org, and they can sponsor a child for a full year of all activities for $250, you know. Or they can just come to the Pros for Pal event. General admissions are $30. You get free food and 4 drink tickets. But if you pay the VIP reception, you get to hobnob with the pro guys.
And get Derek. You get to hear Derek rap.
That's right. You get to hear him rap. And then, you know, you get unlimited drinks. Unlimited drinks.
All right. But more importantly, the money. And, you know, Atwater has been a very big
gracious host.
Gracious host and, and supporter. But the money goes directly to PAL. So,
Absolutely.
you know, when there isn't a sponsor for a kid, you know, then this kicks in. But what if a person doesn't have $250 but they want to help? What should they do?
They could come and volunteer their time, their energy, and their efforts to helping us increase our alumni productivity and also help to mentor a young kid. I mean,
and
period.
I always say $5 works too.
Yeah.
That's all you can give. I mean, because I like the sense of ownership. When you invest in something, then you feel a different sense of ownership. 313-209-9000. Sam, good afternoon. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. This is Sam Abrams with the Tigers, and I just want to say,
hey, Sam.
Big Sam.
Hey,
cut the line.
I just want to.
DC said that was it, Sam.
All right. I just wanted to say that you could not be with two of the finest guys in the city of Detroit right now. I mean, I grew up playing PAL baseball, and you know, as Derek began saying earlier, you know, if it had not been for PAL, you know, where would he be? And there are thousands of PAL alumni that are out there, and I commend Jay for what you're doing and trying in terms of trying to bring us all back together. And just most recently, I'll tell you a real quick story, is that I began coaching 12 and under baseball, and I can tell you something. I've been working in baseball for 11 years and in the professional business community for over 25. And I can tell you in the last month, I've enjoyed just hanging out with kids, and I haven't had so much fun. I mean, they give me more than I'm giving them.
Absolutely.
And you know, I remember as a kid, I showed up to the field. The field was chalk. The uniforms were ready. The equipment was there, and I didn't have a clue. And now I am that person that's providing that. And I'm saying to myself, oh, my God, where have I been? So, hey, I'm going to get off this line and keep listening, but I just thank you guys for what you're doing. And, Karen, I thank you for keep giving us the opportunity to voice what we have to say. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sam. And before you get off the phone, Sam, hold on. Don't you go, because, you know, don't think that what you do goes unnoticed either.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean, Sam Abrams with the Detroit Tigers has been there. I mean, and like he
in
said,
the community.
He
big
has.
time.
He really has. And, you know, he's quiet, a little more subtle than you, maybe, DC. But, you know, we're not going to argue that point either. But
no,
Sam,
we're not.
Yeah, no, not today. We'll save that for Fall Through Friday. But Sam, I'd love to have you on the show as well. Maybe you'll come on with Jay, you know, one day, or come on by yourself and talk about, you know, what you do with the kids, not only professionally on behalf of the Detroit Tigers, but certainly what you do on behalf of Sam Abrams, because you know you care and you're committed.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Sam. Talk to you soon.
All right,
bye-bye. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got to give away some tickets.
That's right.
You got $300 on you?
Yeah, baby.
I know you do. I know how you roll.
How you want it? You want the nickels and dimes?
I got pennies. Karen,
whatever, as long as we can get 2 tickets. And you know, we should give them away individually. So we're going to give away 2 individual tickets. Let people come. Maybe that'll encourage them to either buy another one, but we'll give them a ticket, and you'll get to hang out with all of us and more at the Pros for Pal at Atwater Brewery on September 23rd from 6 until 11 p.m. So stay tuned. We got some tickets coming up. Don't go away.
Like life is over, these snakes strike like a cobra. The world's hot, my son got knocked. Evidently, it's elementary. They want us all gone eventually. Trooping out of state for a plate. Knowledge, if coke was cooked without the garbage, we'd all have the top dollar.
6:29 the time right now. I'm Andre Ash, live from the Superstation Weather and Traffic Center. Currently, it is mostly cloudy and 70 degrees in the city of Detroit. It's going to wind up being a cool one tonight with temperatures dropping into the low 60s for overnight lows. Off to the roads, we are watching an accident blocking the shoulder of I-696 eastbound at Hoover Road. This weather and traffic report is brought to you by Weather Vision and the Total Traffic Network. You're listening to Superstation 910 AM. The Pulse with Karen Dumas continues in a moment.
This Total Traffic Report is brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. If you are involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people. PCA workshops help coaches, parents, and student athletes pursue winning and life lessons through sports. Visit positivecoach.org.
Big Hollywood, big stars, big movies, big TV shows.
Oh my God.
Celebrity Page TV, new exciting entertainment news right here. I'm Sonia Isabel. We take you around the world to give you the latest celebrity stories, plus behind the scenes access to your favorite stars and shows.
Exciting and interesting and fascinating.
Less talk, more Hollywood news right to the point. Celebrity Page TV, your entertainment news source.
At 8:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit. The most powerful voices in the African American community are all right here on the new 910 AM radio superstation. 910 AM is everywhere you need us to be, literally.
Certainly, this is my first time with the Woodward Dream Cruise. It is bumper to bumper out here. Kevin Adele is here. He is also a very big car guy. So did you bring any other cars out?
Yeah, I brought a 1962 Lincoln Continental convertible.
We appreciate everything you've done, Kevin, to bring the 910 back to life. Obviously, 910 is I think it's the oldest station in the state.
Yeah, it's 100 years old. I bought it from Disney about a year ago, and it's been successful. We've got 40 personalities, station's well known, and I'll probably buy a few more, maybe an FM and maybe another AM in the market. We average 26,000 people during each show.
With you being local and connected more to the community yourself, and obviously from here, and your family's from here.
It's local radio. I'm the only local radio station owner and TV station owner in the top 10 market. And in fact, this is the first interview I've ever done on 910.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, I am honored.
And that's 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town.
Meet Cleveland Brown.
What's happening to me?
He's divorced with a kid.
Yay!
And starting over back in his hometown.
What you think? You look Waffle House handsome.
He's got a new life with a new wife, a new family, and new friends.
Yeah, that's who we are.
And now he's on 5 times a week. The Cleveland Show. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at 12:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit.
Yeah. 910 radio our way. It's the best part of your day. 910 the city of Detroit. Everybody lift your voice. 910 the superstation across the nation. Uncut conversation. 910 politics to relationships. This is the largest voice in the urban. 910 radio our way.
With diamond rolls, your people holding dough, no parole, no rubbers. Going raw, imagine law with no undercovers. Just some thoughts for the mind. I take a glimpse into time, watch the blimp read, the world is mine. If I rule the world, imagine that.
You happy?
I'm
Go
very
ahead.
happy.
Let me, do you know these words?
I mean, that's Lauryn Hill right now. I can't say. I only sang Lauryn in the shower. You know? You could be mine. We both
listen,
shine.
Don't start undressing. We don't want any other issues. We got Derek. You know what? I'm going to forget to come in tomorrow because it feels like Friday. We got Derek Coleman and Jay Alexander in the studio.
Yep.
We are talking about Pros for Pal. It's an event coming up at Atwater Brewery on September 23rd from 6 to 11. It's a support Detroit Pal. So, DC, you got some stats. What do you want to do? Let's give away 2 single tickets.
Single tickets?
Yeah, so we can encourage people to buy another ticket, maybe for their friend or their partner. But if you want to give away a VIP ticket or whatever you want, it's on your bill. It's on you. Okay. So come up with how do you want to do it? First caller, second caller, whatever.
44 is my number, so I don't know if we want to go to the 44th caller.
No, we'll go to the 4th caller.
We'll go to the 4th caller.
We'll go to the 4th caller, and then we'll start all over again.
Tell me what my stats was when I left Syracuse University.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Somebody call 313-209-9000. is our number. We're going to give you a complimentary ticket. Well, it's not really complimentary. DC's picking up the bill. It's $150, and you can join us all at Pros for Pal. I'm sure Sam Abrams will be there.
Yes,
and
he
who
will.
else? Who else are you bringing, DC?
Well, I'm president of our whole NBA chapter here. So myself, Willie Burton, Mayor Bing will be there, Jimmy King, Grant Long. I mean, Terrence Wheeler is not an official member.
T. Will is the man.
That's my man.
T. Will is the man.
And Rick Mahorn. I mean, I invited Greg Kelser,
That's my boy.
We
gotta get Greg.
So
okay.
we
James Buddha.
Buddha, yeah. So we always still, Karen, we get together and do things. When the situation happened in Flint, we took 30,000 cases of water, to Flint to help those people out up there in need. And, we're looking to do that again before Thanksgiving comes around.
Okay, well, good. We got some callers to see who's got your stats when you left Syracuse University. I can't see you don't have any names on here. These young people, man.
Yeah,
I know
well,
we
do you have a young audience?
Yeah.
I imagine so. You just using in the
but
future.
You know what? But let me tell you this though. I have a pretty understanding, a very hip audience. I mean, so they even though some of them don't like it, they say, okay, well, do it. That's what I like, and so they're good with it. So are we going stats or are we going fourth caller? I thought we were going stats.
We're going stats.
We're going stats. That's what I'm saying. I need some names.
All right, let's get it done.
All right, let's give me some names. Give me some names. This is not, you're giving me the fourth caller. We're going stats. This is the first caller? No, this is the fourth caller. Give me the first caller because we're going stats. See, that's these young people, man. I'm telling you.
It's confusing.
No, it's not confusing.
Yeah, we did change it up. You're right.
Okay.
Yes,
whose side are you on?
I mean, I'm on everybody's side.
No, I can't.
We got to give Hussein a try. Too,
okay, well let's give
right.
Hussein. Give me Hussein on line 4. Let's give him a try.
So
Hussein,
we'll give out two more.
How you doing, Hussein?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Miss Karen?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for listening and for calling. You are our fourth caller. So since we changed up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to give you a ticket anyway because we're working out of DC's wallet. So hey, we're big balling today. But if you want to weigh in on any of his stats or what a wonderful person and player of DC's past, you want to weigh in on that, please feel free to go ahead.
Well, I'm sure he was an excellent player. I don't know much about the man's stats, but I definitely appreciate the station. I'm actually from New York City. I just moved to Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I'm not in Pontiac right now. Yeah, I'm living in Pontiac. Ubering right now, listening to you guys all the time.
Oh, man.
Thank you. I certainly listen. Well, just for that alone, you deserve the ticket. So we're going to give you the ticket. I'm going to have them put you on hold. You're going to give them your full name. And we'll make sure we have your name at the door.
At the door.
Leave your telephone number, too, so we can make sure that we reach out and remind you that you do have a ticket.
And your email.
And your email address. So we're going to put you on hold. Andre, get his name, full name, telephone number, and email address.
And make sure you reach out to me, Hussein, when you get there.
All right. You didn't hang up on him, did you?
All right. I'll do that, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And drive carefully. All right. 313-209-9000 is our number. I don't know what's going on. No, what happened to everybody else? We had about 6 callers. Okay.
All right, we'll call back.
All right, well, you can
First
call back.
caller gets through. We
got some more. No, see, you keep changing it up again. All right, we'll just give away another ticket.
I want to know. All right, let's do this.
Okay, what?
All right. When was PAL created? 1969, 1972, 1976, or 1979?
Okay, but that's all I got to do. 313-209-9000. Tell us when was PAL created, and we will give you a VIP ticket to Pros for PAL. Now, remember, if, in fact, you don't get through to get a ticket, you can still buy a ticket and join us there. We're going to have a good time. And, I think we need to do like a collab. We need to.
What kind of collab?
I don't know. We can work on it.
What's the collab?
That's it.
Never mind. I forgot who I was talking to. Is this Tammy or Tommy? This is Tammy? All right, Tammy, thank you so much for the call. How are you?
I'm good. Let me tell you, I'm 57 years old, and I learned who future was today.
Thank you. Get this lady a
Me
chicken
and you both, Tammy. Me and you both.
All right. Thank Thank you. Well, Tammy, you know what? We're going to put you on hold.
Give Tammy a ticket.
Give Tammy a ticket just because she knows.
She learned who the future was today.
And that's fine. That's what
right.
this is what the show is all about. You know, it's about
That's right.
learning and teaching and all that kind of stuff. So, Tammy, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your call. We're going to put you on hold. Give them your full name, your telephone number, and your email address. All right.
All right.
We still
All
got
right,
some,
Tammy.
We got any more?
do? Yeah, we got to do it. We got to
All right,
so
we
can
just
give
keep
away
spending DC's money.
Well, we can give away some regular tickets too.
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
for regular
Teresa,
tickets.
how you doing, Teresa? I'm sorry. Hello. Hello. What? Okay.
Couldn't
All
hear.
right. Okay. Couldn't hear. All right. Next caller. Give me a name. I can't see who's what. I'm glad we're not in surgery. Teresa, how you doing?
Greg.
Hello.
How about Greg?
Greg. Okay. Well, Greg, that works. How
How
you
about
doing?
Greg?
What's up, Greg?
How about Greg?
What it do?
Hey, this DC. Hey, I'm real good friends with Goose, man. You know who Goose is. That's your cousin, right?
Yes, I do.
Carlos' his son. Yeah, that's my main man. That's my main man.
That's what's up, G.
Hey, all right. Hey, then look here. Aren't you the leading rebounder of the Final Four?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. There's that
know.
subtlety kicking
Yeah,
in.
you know my
subtlety
stats,
kicking
G.
in.
You know, game recognized game.
That's right.
all.
That's right. G got a ticket. G got a ticket for that.
All right. Well,
G got a ticket.
Come
for
on
that.
down there, hang out with me, G.
No doubt. I'll be there, man.
Tell me this though. Were you a PAL kid growing up in the city of Detroit?
Good question.
Actually, see, I came up in Hamtramck, so I was the Hamtramck Chancellor right outside of Detroit.
Gotcha.
So, but I played a lot of Janesfield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, in Lasky's, I played a lot of ball at Lasky's and that. But I wasn't, you know, so Hamtramck, I played a lot of Hamtramck ball. You know, I came up in Hamtramck. But, you know, Pop Warner is what we called our league then.
Right, yeah, you're right. Back then it was Pop Warner, yeah.
All right, so Greg, since you know DC, all you'd have to do is just fall through, or do we need to get his information and make sure his name is on the list?
We need to get emails.
All right, so Greg, hold on. We're going to get your information, your name.
I'm a development officer.
I know you are. Your name, your full name, your telephone number, and your email address, and we appreciate you calling and listening. 313-209-9000. Rodriguez, how are you today?
Boy.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, I know everybody on the panel, but I'm not going to reveal my full identity. But put it this way, I referee basketball, so I had those guys a couple
Well,
times.
you terrible then.
Yes, you
If
did.
you referee basketball, you terrible.
Hey, I can't say that. Hey, I can't say that because you know my wife is a referee.
I tell you what, to be honest with you, because I knew some of the scouts was in the stand, I let you stay in the game.
Hey, we appreciate that.
Well, that's love, then.
Now you appreciate me now.
I appreciate you a whole lot.
Yeah. But, you guys have put a trivia question out there. When was PAL established?
Yes. That's right.
And I want to say it was established in 1972.
69, big time.
All you got to do is
69.
Google. Nobody should guess anything.
But see, I tell you why I didn't Google, because I played PAL basketball. I used to play for Precinct 11.
Okay.
And I remember playing when they gave us, we had the little cotton pants and those cotton shirts. And it's like 100 degrees outside, and we sweating like runaway slaves out there. It was all good though. Everybody had it on.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Anonymous Rodriguez, you got a ticket on me, man, for sure. So give him your real name when you put you on hold, but you got a ticket. I'm just spending DC's money. So.
Yeah, but listen,
I appreciate
can somebody pull up the Neiman Marcus website while we're at it? Since we're doing it, but Rodriguez, hold on. We appreciate your listening and calling in. We're going to take your full name, your telephone number, and your email address, and we look forward to seeing you. So, if we don't, because I can give away some tickets between now and then. We don't have to give them all away now. We can give away some on Friday.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because I think that Centurion card that DC has, no limit. But let's talk about for people that still want to come.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are only $30.
Yes.
VIP tickets are $150. It gives you unlimited everything. You can come, you can connect, you can have a good time, and you can support PAL. What's the best way for them to do it?
Go to DetroitPal.org and click on Pros for PAL. and it takes you right to that particular website where you can sign up and pay your money online and or call at 844-GIVE-PAL or 313.
So you're giving too much. People get confused. Give them one
All right,
number.
I'll give you one number. 313-833-1600.
That's the easiest way to do it,
That's
because
it.
everybody's like, okay, what number do I remember? What number do I
Right.
forget?
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep these guys around, and we're going to close out this edition of The Pulse right after this.
This traffic report is brought to you by Zemus Jury and Loan, Michigan's largest pawnbroker since 1923. Your grandfather did business with us, you should too.
Time to make a deal. We're the only family-run pawn shop in Vegas.
All right, cool, man. We got a deal.
You never know who. Is that Steve Carell?
Hey, Mr. Dillon. Driver, stop the car.
Or what? Is this a chicken leg on it? Is going to come through that door.
Dad, don't hurt yourself. It looks like he's riding a vacuum cleaner.
I'll give you $6 grand. I'll give you 10 grand. Let me give you 55 grand.
Pawn Stars, weekdays at 5 p.m. on WADL Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary. Thank you for calling 910 AM Superstation. What's your question or comment?
Last year, there was over 1,200 murders, people murdered by cops. What you also got to look at is that you got to look at the population of.
And let me just say it was 1,400. Wait a minute, it's four.
I'm not done. You don't interrupt, man. Hold on 1 minute.
Wait a minute, hold on for a minute. You ain't gonna tell me what to do on my show. Nah, I had interrupted you, and I was told by my wonderful engineer that I am coming across as an angry black woman. And so therefore, I want to apologize to everyone for having too much coffee today. But I'm sorry, and I want to apologize for being an angry black woman.
Take down the number and lock us in your speed dial. It's 313-209-9000. That's 313-209-9000. One more time, 313-209-9000.
It's her most important day. She needs it to be perfect. So why is everything going wrong? It's no wonder these ladies are called Bridezillas.
How dare you!
Watch their weddings become slow-motion train wrecks.
My day! This is about me!
You won't believe it. Bridezillas.
Weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on WADL Detroit. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I listen all the time. Great radio personalities.
The new mobile site is incredible. With the visual live feed, this is a whole new level for community broadcasting. I'm also very impressed with the Bible section present both in a written and audio format. 910 AM has really stepped it up to a whole new level.
Tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. We have it all, from motivation to outrage, from advice to empowerment. We're the hottest station in town. Whatever you need, it's right here on 910 AM Superstation, the most powerful voices in the urban community. When you think of power, aggression, boldness, and in-your-face honesty, there's only one station that comes to mind, and that's 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town. Why? Because when it happens, we talk about it.
Have either of you ever fired a weapon or shot someone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so both of those?
Yes.
Okay, and did you kill them, or did you just?
No. Me, it was like, let me do this. Maybe I get a little more respect.
You know, when you drive by and shoot at a house party, how do you feel when you see a 3-year-old girl shot as a result of somebody, driving by and shooting into a crowd at somebody?
When you out there doing those things, you don't think about who you about to shoot. Once you see something like that on the news, like a 3-year-old shot or something like that, it hurt me.
But for how long? Long enough to take you off the street?
Yeah. I got a daughter of my own, 3 years old.
910 AM Superstation has the best, the brightest, and the bravest voices in the urban community. Don't believe me? Just listen.
Okay, there you go.
Unemployment and the record
People going, people want to die. Don't ask me because I don't know why, but it's like that. And that's the way it is. Come on, Karen. Trying to make ends meet. You don't know nothing about that, Karen.
Oh, yes, I do, but I just don't want to rap it. Okay, are we going Facebook Live on this? Or is Andre all gone? Okay, we're going to get it together.
What?
Okay, so we just found our song then.
That's it.
Right.
Okay, we can do that in case you don't recognize that voice. It is Derek Coleman, and we've got Jay Alexander in the studio. Gentlemen, thank you for your generosity in giving away the tickets. Congratulations to our winners. Look forward to seeing you at Atwater Brewery on September 23rd from 6 until 11 o'clock. But if you want to call, or what is it, Pros for Pal? What's the website?
DetroitPal.org.
Oh,
and
you got
click
the
on
/
Pros for
I
Pal.
got you. Okay, well, I knew that, but I thought it was
That's
something
all right.
separate.
It's
All
all
right.
good.
Or you can call 833-1600, and we'd love for you to join us. You get to hang out and interact and play with Detroit sports stars, the greatest, the legends. We have live entertainment, food, spirits,
That's right.
in air quotes, and Atwaterville. And all proceeds will benefit Detroit PAL, which is something that you hear me talk about often. We always talk about what we need to do for our kids. Certainly, this is an opportunity to invest in our kids and have a good time at the same time. So,
That's right.
all right, well, that's good. So, what else can we buy on your credit card, DC?
I mean, just swipe away, baby. You know? Just swipe away.
All right, so let's see. We're going to pull up that
That's
website.
it.
But first of all, in all seriousness, I do want to thank you, not just for coming on the show, but for everything that you do. You know, Terrence Wheeler is one of your biggest cheerleaders. He was like, no, DC's got this. DC, he says DC, like Trick, loves the kids.
Well, for life.
No
you know,
question.
I tease Terrence Wheeler all the time, you know, because we beat them in the city championship in 1986.
Let it go.
Yeah, I can't let that go.
I see.
You know, and I tell him all the time, you know, Southwestern prospectors, y'all ain't started doing nothing until, you know, he met me. That's what I tell T all the time. So he's been my partner, my friend, in everything that we've done around this city. And he's doing wonderful things out there in the city of River Rouge and helping those people
But you're out there too, though, right?
No, see, that's Junior.
Are you serious?
That's Derek Coleman. He's the school superintendent. Everybody gets me and him mixed up.
Because Terrence was out there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay.
No,
I said, well, damn, DC's saving everything. He's out there.
Well, that's what DC do. I mean, I've been had an S on my chest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
But I always, so I'm sorry, but I guess
So
that's cool too.
that's Derek Coleman, the superintendent. So he's junior. That's what I call it because I'm senior. My son is junior, and
Like
he's
Junior
junior.
Walker Jr.
Yeah, like Junior
Sammy
Walker,
Davis
Sammy
Jr.
Davis
Jr.
Jr. Yeah, but they're doing great things
I
out
love
there.
that you know pop culture.
Yeah.
I like that. Because usually if I say something, people look at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So you got to
only when you play Future. You know, that's yeah. I'm gonna look at you like that.
All right, well that's okay. We're gonna have to see who's a DJ. Who's a DJ gonna be that night? We got some live. Well, you got live entertainment. Is this Mikey?
We got some R&B entertainment. Yep, and the entertainment is brought to us by Embarco by Mikey.
That's Mikey.
And I've been trying to get in touch with Mikey.
Okay, I got you. I'll find Mikey
for
because
last week and a half.
Well, I saw
I'm
looking for Mikey.
But Mikey always comes through.
Yeah, Mikey's just busy. I saw him. We watched the boat races over at
Kids' house.
Yeah, so I saw him there, and but he's on it. I'll find him for you. He's not too far. We will find him for you. So
that's right.
All right. So what's next? I mean, after Pros for Pal, if people happen to be out of town, what else can they do to not only take advantage of all the people that are supporting Pal, but support Pal as well?
You can always go to the website, and we have everything up there at DetroitPal.org and find out everything that we're doing. And even if it's $60 a year, you know, it's something. You know, with the help of many, we can do great things, is what I always say. And one of the ways is by just your generosity and giving kids hope. You know, that's that big word, hope. It's in our community, that's a huge word. And giving a kid hope and giving him something to build on or her to build on.
I was going to say.
Yes.
Right, I got you.
I was like, wait a minute.
Because we ain't nothing without women.
That's
the
right.
first one to tell you.
Okay, well,
So
God first.
That's right. And I'm going to tell you what. And we're at 30-something% female for our population, and we're trying to grow that with the help of PNC. They sponsor some women's sports for us and some other sponsors. But
you got my wife over there.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say.
Absolutely.
She wrote me a check.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right. I didn't want to say her name, but we got her. We got her.
You got Gina over there,
I was
right?
gonna say, yeah, Gina, is equally committed to the community.
Without
you,
question.
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you guys are a great team, and we certainly need not only the both of you, but we need more people to participate. Again, DetroitPal.org is the website. I have talked about this often. I will continue to talk about it, and we're going to see. We're going to kind of shake down DC before he goes out. We'll get some tickets away between now and then. Even if we just give a pair a day, because I'd love for you to come out and see firsthand, not only have a good time, but see firsthand the people behind PAL. I mean, they are a passionate team, one of sacrifice and commitment, from Tim Ritchie to everybody on the team, all the way down.
Athletic directors are amazing.
Everybody, and I just, when you see a team that of people that are working based on their compassion and their commitment, it's a whole different story as opposed to people that just show up to work every day. And you guys certainly are that. So I'm honored to be a part of it. I look forward to hanging out with you guys on September 23rd, 2016. Me and my one leg.
One leg up, one leg up, one leg up.
You got it, Derek. You got to come back on Friday.
Diesel, he and Diesel.
You got it. Yep. Oh yeah, you got to come back with Diesel.
Who is Diesel?
Trick's brother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I ain't seen him in a minute either.
This will be the perfect reunion.
They tried to get me over to do a sports show at one point in time. Who's the football guy that's doing it?
What's his name? Lamar Woodley?
One of those guys.
Yeah, I think Lamar Woodley is the one that does the show.
Didn't have a budget, so hey.
You don't roll like that. Well, in the meantime, you were always welcome to come and hang out on my show.
I'm going to always come and hang out on your show and support anything that you do, Karen. I mean, we talk about what we do, but you've been a pillar here in this community, for so long, and people need to know that and understand that as well. From being from the mayor's office on down to doing your own radio show, but you engage in the community, and that's what we need, and that's what we've been missing for so long, and we have to get back to that.
Well, we're going to do it one person, one radio show, one set of tickets, one event, one log on to DetroitPal.org, one phone call to PAL, 313-833
1600.
1600. I had it written down somewhere. I got so much going on.
You're so fast.
Well, I know it's just so much stuff. There it is, 833-1600. We're going to do that, and I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being here. So and thanks for hanging out with me for the rest of the show. We're going to go out on his show. That's right. Go ahead. Let
Turn that up. Turn that up. Yeah, give me some volume. What?
All right, and with that, I want to thank our guest today, David Palmer, Director of Business Partnerships for the Workforce Intelligence Network, and also Chandra Floyd for Blue Cross Blue Shield, telling us that, yes, those programs do work. Make sure you check them out at experienceitdetroit.com. Also, continuing our series with Life Before and After, I want to thank OZH Pie and Rita Jordan from Pie Funeral Homes. We appreciate their information, their insight. Also, Tanya Yopp, COO, Tanya Heidelberg-Yopp, Chief Operating Officer,
Syracuse.
And former from Syracuse. That's right, she's an Orangeman too. Chief Operating Officer for United Way. Thanks for stopping by, and best wishes for continued success to you. And as always, Jay Alexander. I have nothing but love for you, Jay.
Same here, Karen.
We're a team.
That's right.
All right, and DC in the flesh.
Hey. Ben had an S on my chest. I told you that.
Don't make sure you check out DetroitPal.org and give them a call, 833-1600. Also want to thank Station Over Kevin Adele, and thank you for listening and sharing your time with me. Remember to tune in every weekday from 4 to 7 p.m. to 9:10 a.m. or log on to 910am.com to be a part of something great. Now, DC, I always have an upbeat every day, something positive, a couple words that I leave people with. You want to do the upbeat tonight?
Well, for me, the upbeat has always been, when you're talking about kids, is just to get involved and get engaged. That changes lives.
All right, so the upbeat today is to get involved and get engaged per DC. And until next time, stay tuned.
And that's the way it is.
From the crazy, twisted, brilliant mind of Seth MacFarlane.
Who?
creator of Family Guy and American Dad.
What else is on?
Comes the Cleveland Show 5 times a week.
To Cleveland!
And it's just what you'd expect.
Yes! This show delivers.
The Cleveland Show. Viewer discretion advised.
Weeknights at